What would you do if you woke up one day and found your entire sect had vanished? After crossing into a cultivation world, I accidentally become a probationary disciple of the top power, the Tai Sect. One day, I discover the entire sect has disappeared. Then the system tells me a world catastrophe will strike in 3 years. When it hits, billions will perish. Convinced the sect fled after learning the news, I start looting every resource I can find to boost my cultivation. But what I don't know is that everyone in the sect didn't actually vanish. They got trapped inside a secret realm floating right above the sect. So every single member of the Tai Sect can see my every move. They watch me barge into the scripture pavilion, chug 8th grade spirit elixir like water, pop 9th grade pills like candy. The elders shout in unison, "This boy must not be spared." But when they see me break through an entire realm in a single day, and even casually refine 9th grade pills, the entire sect is stunned. This boy is our sect's hope. Meanwhile, I'm just wandering around, and after discovering that everyone in the sect has vanished, I stand there completely dumbfounded. What the hell? What is going on? Just as I'm lost in confused thought, a cold mechanical voice rings inside my head. Ding! Ultimate survival system, binding complete. Detected, the player's world will undergo a world catastrophe in 1020 to 4 days, resulting in the deaths of trillions of living beings. Only by reaching the celestial sovereign realm can the player secure a chance of survival. This system will do everything in its power to help the player survive the world catastrophe. Hearing this, my jaw drops. Then an even more outrageous thought hits me. They didn't just vanish, they bailed ahead of time. A storm of emotions erupts inside me. Fine, you all ran, but you could have at least taken me with you. I didn't even get on the bus. So I asked the system, "Yo sis bro, what can you do?" Just so we're clear, this modern body of mine has almost zero cultivation talent. If you're counting on me, we're both toast. The system responds immediately, player. This system's primary function is to assist in cultivation. It will guide the player step by step to become a powerhouse. Now issuing a beginner-guided quest. Travel to the Sect's scripture pavilion and check in. This guided quest is highly difficult. Upon completion, the player will receive a 10,000-fold talent boost as a reward. My whole body trembles. I never expected the system's reward to be this insane. The scripture pavilion is a restricted area of the sect. As an outer disciple, I have no right to even go near it. But now the sect is completely empty. This quest has zero difficulty for me. I set off immediately. Meanwhile, in the endless void above the Tai Sect, every disciple and elder is trapped. This place is called the Tai Void Realm. It was originally a once-a-decade cultivation ground for the sect's disciples. This time, the elders brought the disciples here for training. Just as they were about to leave, they discovered the exit had sealed shut. The disciples are still meditating with their eyes closed, completely unaware of the crisis. But the sect leaders' faces are grim. Sect leader Thalon speaks in a steady voice. "Everyone, the Tai Void Realm has existed for countless ages. Perhaps some spatial structures have simply loosened. Let us wait for the Grand Elders to repair them." Hearing this, everyone looks toward the dome above. 3 Grand Elders sit cross-legged in the void, jointly inspecting the space. Each of them possesses world-shaking power. As long as they are here, this realm malfunction will be resolved. The leader's expressions ease considerably. Then Thalon speaks again. "The Grand Elders are working on it. Let us also think whether there is any clever plan to help us escape." Elder Soren of Divination Peak speaks first. "If I recall correctly, not all disciples entered the realm. One person stayed behind. 3 years ago, Holy Maiden Kiara entered the base of Dragoncleave Cliff for secluded cultivation, attempting to break through to Violet Palace. She had left word that when the Tai Void Realm opened this time, there was no need to inform her. So right now, she is indeed the only person left inside the sect." Hearing this, Elder Liron of Bow Peak nods happily. The Tai Void Realm has an access jade as a backup. The passage can also be opened from the outside. As long as the Holy Maiden finishes her breakthrough and finds the sect empty, with her intelligence, she will surely realize we are trapped in here. Hearing this, all the elders light up with hope. But Soren's expression remains troubled. That may be true, but every time the Holy Maiden goes into seclusion, it takes at least 5 years, sometimes 10. And this time, she is pushing for Violet Palace, so it may take 20 years before she emerges. The smiles freeze on every leader's face. Thalen pauses, then sighs, "Forget it. Let us first check on things down below. Perhaps the Holy Maiden has already finished." He presses 2 fingers together and casts a spell to make the barrier transparent, allowing them to see the outside world. Then an elder points in surprise. "Look! Why is someone standing at the outer peak entrance?" Hearing this, everyone follows where he is pointing, and sure enough, they spot someone on a mountain peak. He is wearing the robes of an outer gate probationary disciple, hands behind his back, strolling into a mission hall at the outer peak. He places his disciple token against the unguarded Guardian Steely, and starts pumping contribution points into his account like crazy. Seeing this, the elder who manages the mission hall roars in fury. "Outrageous! This boy dares to steal contribution points while the sect is empty. Has he no shame at all?" Thalon flicks his sleeve with a cold snort. "This boy's character is utterly despicable. He is not worthy of the Tai Sect, but I have no idea any of this is happening." Watching my contribution points climb higher and higher, I feel deeply satisfied. Everyone ran away anyway, so it's just me now. We are all friends here. Taking a little won't hurt. Even if the elders find out, can they really blame me? But directly above my head in the Taiyi Void Realm, the Mission Hall Elder is screaming at the top of his lungs. Absolutely shameless. Skin thicker than a castle wall. He has already taken 100,000 and he still won't stop. This boy is a complete scoundrel. Thalan summons the Outer Peak steward. Yenrik, do you recognize this person? Yenrik looks at the figure below, thinks for a moment, then his eyes widen, reporting to the sect leader, this person's name is Kyle. Half a year ago he crossed the Wildwood Expanse to reach our sect. Seeing how determined his heart for the Tao was, I admitted him according to sect rules. Thalan waves his hand dismissively. Determined heart for the Tao? Look at his character. The moment he sees the sect is empty, he helps himself to everything. Stuck in this realm, I cannot even punish you. Once we get out, go to the discipline hall and receive 300 lashes yourself. Hearing this, Yenrik quickly bows and steps back. The Peak Master of Teaching Peak watches me from above, shaking his head non-stop. Meanwhile, after scooping up a full 1,000,000 contribution points in one go, I happily wave my token. This should last me a while. Then I head straight for the dock, use my token to activate a skyship parked at the dock, and reach Teaching Peak in just half an hour. The Peak Master of Teaching Peak sees me coming and immediately knows I am headed for the Scripture Pavilion. He raises an eyebrow. This kid isn't stupid, but he vastly overestimates himself. In our Scripture Pavilion, only the first floor can be unlocked with contribution points. Every other floor requires pure talent. The best techniques and arts are stored on the upper floors. Back when Holy Maiden Kiara chose her technique, relying on her Dawn Radiance Tao body, she reached the 8th floor directly, on par with Holy Son Lysander. This little thief has garbage talent. He will probably struggle even with the techniques on the first floor. Harsh words, but every bit of it is true. The Scripture Pavilion of the Taiyi sect holds a vast array of formation rules and techniques. To climb its floors, one must rely on innate talent detected by the pavilion itself. The Tao ancestor laid down laws that precisely match a cultivator's aptitude. In a million years, no one has ever reached the 9th floor. Just as the elders are lost in thought, I have already landed at the Scripture Pavilion. When I tap my token against the stone steely at the entrance, 10,000 contribution points vanish instantly. Then the system's notification sounds in my ear. Ding. Player has arrived at the Scripture Pavilion. Guided quest complete. Reward has been issued. Now issuing a new beginner guided quest. Cultivate any technique and enter the body tempering realm. Upon completion, the player will receive a martial skill mastery token. Using this token will allow one martial skill to reach the beginner mastery level within a single day. I squint with suspicion. The reward was issued? I don't feel anything different. Is this really a 10,000-fold talent boost? Sis bro, are you messing with me? Since the system gives no reply, I have no choice but to test it out myself. I casually pick up a book, and to my shock, I understand its entire contents at a single glance. Even the technique's core, which had been impossible to grasp before, becomes crystal clear in an instant. Once I confirm it, I am overjoyed. The talent boost is real. Choosing a body tempering technique is absolutely critical. This is the foundation building realm. Now that my talent is boosted 10,000-fold, I need to train with the very best. The first floor techniques are beneath me now. I have only one thought in my mind: go upstairs. Meanwhile, in the Taiyi Void Realm, the elders are already making comments. He has entered the Scripture Pavilion. How many floors do you think he can reach? The Teaching Peak elder lets out a cold snort. If you ask me, the unfinished basement at best. Otherwise he belongs on floor -1. Everyone laughs. But just as they are joking around, the figure on the first floor starts to move. This instantly grabs everyone's attention. What is he doing? Does he actually think he can reach the 2nd floor? This thief already stole the sect's contribution points, and now he wants higher grade techniques too? What greed. Leave him be, he will never make it past those stairs in his lifetime. Exactly. There is absolutely no chance he can climb. But before those words even fade, the figure inside the pavilion glides up to the 2nd floor without any resistance. Everyone who swore I belonged on floor -1 now sees this scene, and it feels like a slap in the face. They all quietly shut their mouths in unison. But I have no idea about the show playing out above my head. After flipping through some techniques on the 2nd floor, I find them all mediocre. The best ones are only mystic grade. Looks like I need to keep climbing. With that in mind, I head up again. The moment my figure moves, everyone above furrows their brows, but while they are still puzzled, I have already stepped onto the 3rd floor. Seeing this, everyone's interest is piqued. Most of their earlier prejudice fades away. Thalen thinks to himself, they say human nature is inherently good. If this boy truly has talent, perhaps his death sentence can be lifted. After some punishment, he can be properly guided. But just as Thalen is thinking this, he notices me climbing floor after floor, walking all the way to the 6th floor without any resistance. This completely stuns everyone. After all, many elders only reach the 6th floor in their youth. The Divination Peak elder turns to the Teaching Peak Master Varen. Varen, could it be that your Scripture Pavilion's formation array has malfunctioned? Varen immediately shakes his head. Impossible. The Scripture Pavilion was built by the Taiyi Tao ancestor himself. Unlike the Taiyi Void Realm today, there is no interference. Its formation cannot have failed. Hearing this, the Divination Peak elder raises an eyebrow. Then how do you explain Kyle reaching the 6th floor? Varen has no answer. After all, I have been cultivating for half a year and cannot even touch the threshold of body tempering. Yet I waltzed up to the 6th floor. Everyone is baffled. They figure that if I had this kind of aptitude, it would be impossible to hide. Even with minimal effort, I should have built a solid foundation. With a special physique, I could have entered the Dao automatically. This situation defies all logic. But Thalon is not thinking about any of that. Instead, seeing this scene stirs a desire to nurture talent. With this level of gift, with proper guidance, his future is truly limitless. Becoming a core disciple is practically guaranteed. As for the stolen contribution points, he is just a lowly mortal. Not knowing the sect's rules is perfectly understandable. From a mortal's perspective, if the entire sect suddenly vanishes, everything becomes unclaimed property. Taking some for personal use is hardly a crime. Varen strokes his beard. I have observed that Kyle has a resilient character, quite the gentleman's bearing. Even when facing a suddenly deserted sect, he remains calm and composed. This is the mark of a hero. As the saying goes, a man with wisdom in his chest and calm on his face can be entrusted as a general. Such raw, unpolished talent, with just a little shaping, will become another pillar of the sect. I know everyone is busy. So once we escape, I, Varen, am willing to take on the burden and accept Kyle as my personal disciple, guiding him myself. Hearing this, every core disciple's face fills with envy. After all, the Taiyi sect has thousands of disciples. Outer disciples never even get to meet the teaching peak master. Only inner and core disciples can attend his lectures once a month. A select few top core disciples might get individual guidance from a peak master, but none of that compares to becoming a peak master's personal disciple. Unlike the envious core disciples, the elders from other peaks roll their eyes. That sly old fox changed his tune real fast. Then Dorgan, peak master of Artisan Peak, steps forward. He turns to Varen. Varen, you really have an eye for talent. Though I'm no expert, I have also observed this boy. Both his character and his aptitude are top tier. With proper training, he will surely rank among the core disciples. However, Varen, there is one thing I must disagree with you on. Think about how hard you have worked for the sect all these years. Teaching countless disciples every day is exhausting enough, and on top of that, you give individual lessons to core disciples. We all see your sacrifice, even if we never say it out loud. We are all still right here, and yet you want to take on even more, adding another disciple to your workload? Isn't that a slap in our faces? So regarding today's matter of taking a disciple, I absolutely will not allow it. Varen, you just sit this one out. As for teaching Kale, I will handle it. Now Dorgan's speech, the first half moves Varen to near tears, but by the second half he realizes Dorgan is trying to steal his disciple, and there is no way he will hand over this prize. So he squeezes out a few tears. Dorgan, you have looked after me since we were young. Over these thousands of years I owe you more than I can count. Today, it is finally time I repay you. It's not that I'm being stubborn, but Artisan Peak is far too specialized. Forging artifacts, crafting talismans, which of those doesn't require extraordinary talent? Kyle only has good cultivation aptitude. He may not be any good at forging or talisman craft. If he turns out to be a dull one, wouldn't that burden you with even more work? Artisan Peak is already swamped. Adding Kyle's training on top of that, am I supposed to just stand by and watch you work yourself to death? So when it comes to taking Kyle as a disciple, it is my duty to step up. Dorgan catches the hidden meaning and is instantly furious. You sneaky little Varen, you will throw away every shred of decency just to steal my disciple. He is about to fire back when from the side a woman's voice cuts in. You two, why fight over something so small? Don't ruin the harmony between us. Everyone turns toward the voice. A beautiful woman in a purple Dao robe approaches. She is none other than the master of combat, the peak master of Sword Peak Yuvail. Dorgan and Varen bow respectfully. Greetings, Yuvail. Seeing this, Thalon silently sighs in relief. Thank goodness Yuvail has some sense. She stopped these two old fools at just the right moment. Otherwise, this scene in front of all the disciples would be embarrassing. He is feeling relieved, but the very next second, Yuvail turns to them with a radiant smile. Why not just send Kyle to my Sword Peak? I have been wanting to take on a personal disciple lately. I just couldn't find the right candidate until now. The moment she says this, Thalon's eyelids twitch violently, and the two elders freeze in place. Seeing Yuvail join the fight for Kyle, even more elders start feeling tempted. The core disciples begin to whisper among themselves. Even Elder Yuvail wants Kyle as her disciple. Oh my god, 3 peak masters are fighting over one person, and the others are itching to join in. Is Kyle really that good? So jealous. Sword Peak is the sect's #1 combat division. Who in the central province has not heard of the Taiyi sword name? I also have 6th floor aptitude, so why can't Elder Yuvail take me? This kind of thing isn't just about compatibility, it's also about timing. Kyle is just incredibly lucky. And honestly, today everyone is trapped inside this secret realm, forced to watch his every move. Even the smallest action gets magnified 100-fold. Of course that catches Elder Yuvail's eye. Meanwhile, on the elder side, Varen and Dorgan go quiet. They exchange glances, silently scheming together. But after all their eye signaling, neither one dares to challenge Yuvail. Just as the two of them keep going back and forth, and other elders are debating whether to step in, an inner gate steward rushes in with a report. The other disciples in the realm are getting restless, because they cannot leave. Thalon considers for a moment, then decides to tell everyone the truth. He also makes the realm's barrier transparent, allowing every disciple to see what is happening in the outside world, using it to redirect everyone's attention. And now, under the gaze of tens of thousands of eyes, the figure who has been reading on the 6th floor finally moves again. He shakes his head, seemingly unsatisfied with this floor's techniques. Then he looks up at the staircase to the 7th floor and steps right onto it. The entire Taiyi void realm erupts instantly, because the gap between the 6th and 7th floors of the scripture pavilion is a massive divide. The talent required jumps dramatically. Among the many peak master level elders present, most only had the aptitude for the 6th floor. Those who could enter the 7th were only Sect leader Thalon and sword peak master Yuvail. And everyone has confirmed that Kyle has no special physique. He has a mortal body. In the Sect's entire history, no mortal body has ever reached the 7th floor. Then Divination Peak Master Soren recovers from his shock. This is Kyle's first time in the Scripture Pavilion. He is probably just testing his limits. I expect any moment now he will give up and turn back. The others nod in agreement. After a short while, Soren puts on an I knew it expression. Kyle has reached the middle of the staircase. If I am not mistaken, he is struggling with every step right now. Even taking one more step must be agony. The others chime in. Soren is absolutely right. At the same time, I am halfway up the stairs, silently cursing in my head. Who designed these stairs? 80 steps, just to get from the 6th floor to the 7th. No wonder a 200-meter building only has 9 floors. They crammed this many stairs in between. The builder was out of his mind. Of course, when the Taiyi Dao ancestor built this place, he designed it for body-tempering realm cultivators. He never imagined a mortal would climb this high. After a brief rest, I press onward. Only 20 steps remain to the 7th floor. But I have no idea that my effort has once again stunned the elders above. Soren coughs with a flushed face. It seems Kyle is even more resilient than we thought. But reaching the 7th floor is still impossible. Throughout all of history, the sect has never seen such a precedent. Based on my calculations, Kyle's body has reached its absolute limit. Look at him gasping for air. It's not just his muscles and bones bearing the weight. Even his internal organs must be in excruciating pain. He should not be able to take another step. Hearing his analysis, the elders rush to agree once more. Soren, your insight is impeccable. I also believe this boy has reached his limit. Even though Kyle cannot reach the 7th floor, with this level of talent in a mortal body, he ranks among the top geniuses of our sect. But just as the elders carry on with their grand analysis, a core disciple suddenly shouts, Kyle is moving. They all look down and see me sprinting up the stairs, shooting straight to the top and stepping onto the 7th floor of the scripture pavilion. Dead silence falls. After a long pause, no one can stay calm anymore. Yuvail's resolve grows even stronger. She is determined to make me her disciple. Thalon's face lights up with excitement. A mortal body reaching the 7th floor. This is unprecedented in all of history. Our sect has gained another supreme genius. He can easily rank in the top 10% of all core disciples. Everyone stop fighting. Once we escape, Kyle will become my personal disciple, and I will teach him myself. Hearing this, every elder is stunned. Wait, even you are joining the fight for him, Thalon? The Taiyi sect has an unwritten rule. Aside from the Holy Son and Holy Maiden, the sect leader may not take additional disciples. First, because the sect leader is too busy. Second, because a non-saint disciple under the sect leader might develop dangerous ambitions, threatening the sect's succession. Yet now, Thalon wants to break this rule for Kyle. The elders are shocked, but understand. After all, Kyle has shattered the limits of mortal body talent. His future is beyond measure. Yuvail shoots Thalon an angry glare. His face burns under her stare. He knows his position as sect leader makes this inappropriate. He has overstepped. He cannot even look Yuvail in the eye. Finally, Soren steps in to advise. Thalon, please reconsider. A sect leader taking a disciple beyond the two saints is unprecedented. If we set this precedent, how will the Holy Son and Holy Maiden feel? Every other elder voices their support. But just as everyone is urging him to reconsider, Thalon declares firmly, there is no need to worry. Once I take Kyle as my disciple, I will hand over the sect leader's authority to Yuvail. The words drop like a bomb. Everyone goes silent. But Yuvail smirks. Thalon, are you trying to kill two birds with one stone? No one else understands what she means, but Thalon's heart skips a beat. He never expected Yuvail to see through his scheme instantly. Years ago, the two of them were the Holy Son and Holy Maiden. When they were about to compete for the sect leader's seat, Yuvail willingly stepped aside. So the position went to him. But after 1300 years as sect leader, buried under endless duties, Thalon's cultivation has stagnated. He has been wanting to quit for ages, and taking a disciple is the perfect excuse to step down. Too bad this little scheme cannot fool Yuvail. The other elders are completely confused, but in the disciples' eyes, this looks like the sect leader is willing to give up his throne just to claim Kyle. When the news reaches the outer disciples, it gets wildly exaggerated. The outer gate stewards try to stop the rumors, but even they wonder, why would the sect leader voluntarily resign? Is it really all for Kyle? With that thought, everyone looks down again, their eyes landing on the 7th floor of the scripture pavilion. There I stand, hands behind my back, browsing the jade scrolls on the shelves. From the 7th floor up, techniques are earth-grade mid-tier and above, so they are stored as jade scrolls instead of regular books. Disciples are supposed to follow the rule. Only one technique may be selected at a time. Each jade scroll has a golden note beside it with a description. But since no one is guarding the sect, I don't need to follow that rule. Still, these earth-grade techniques don't interest me. With a 10,000-fold talent boost, my potential ceiling is sky-high, and I need to reach Celestial Sovereign before the world catastrophe hits in 3 years to survive. These mere Earth-grade techniques simply won't cut it. After reviewing the scrolls, I let out a sigh. Looking back, it has only been half a year since I crossed over. As a mere outer gate probationary disciple, my status is pitifully low. The steward at the peak never bothered to teach me about cultivation realms. So until now, I had no idea what these realms even meant, or what kind of world I was living in. Only after walking through the scripture pavilion do I realize with shock, this is a high-powered martial and mystical world. Humanity, through sheer willpower and relentless development of the human body, created the martial cultivation system and became the rulers of this world. Martial cultivation is divided into 3 great stages, with nearly impossible barriers between them. The first stage is the key to transforming from mortal to cultivator, with body tempering as the foundation. The second stage, once mastered, allows one to attempt the Tao anchoring barrier. A Tao anchoring master can live as long as the heavens, and a celestial sovereign is among the rarest beings in existence. Recalling everything I have read, I feel deeply shaken. Now I finally understand just how insane the system's requirement is. But right now, the priority is still choosing a proper body refining technique and entering the body tempering realm. Since everyone in the Tai sect has vanished, if I'm going to train, I'm training with the absolute best. With that in mind, I keep climbing. Perhaps driven by the dream of a top-tier technique, I push all the way up to the 8th floor in one burst. The 8th floor is still spacious, but there are noticeably fewer jade scrolls. I immediately start examining them, looking for something worth training. But I have no idea that my actions have sent the entire sect into a frenzy. Am I seeing things? Kyle reached the 8th floor. No. Is Kyle even human, or is he a god? A mortal body walking straight into the 8th floor of the scripture pavilion. If this sight-piercing spell wasn't cast by the sect leader himself, I would think someone was messing with us. No wonder Thalon is willing to resign just to take Kyle as his disciple. I thought the sect leader was being reckless before. Now I see it was me who was shallow. Kyle truly has the potential to rival the Holy Sun. The disciples are in an uproar, the stewards and elders are equally excited. Only the Holy Sun's vision goes dark. Since both he and Kyle have the talent to reach the 8th floor, the Holy Sun's position may need to be re-evaluated. But then Lysander thinks again. Kyle may be talented, but he is far too young. He has not even begun cultivating. Meanwhile, I am already at spirit-severing peak. That is my advantage. On top of that, he has no credentials and no connections. Why should the Holy Sun title go to him? Besides, Kyle's only edge is his strange mortal body, while my lunar saint body is immeasurably powerful. Because it is so rare, matching techniques are extremely scarce. That is why he joined the Tai sect with its deep heritage, and eventually found the perfect match on the 8th floor, a lower heaven-grade technique called the Shadow Serpent art. But after training it, he learned that the Shadow Serpent art is merely a derived version of the upper heaven-grade Azure Dragon Sutra. The original is stored on the 9th floor. Though he is destined to never obtain it, Kyle also only reached the same 8th floor. He is still 3 full realms behind, so he poses no threat whatsoever. After thinking it through, Lysander regains his composure. He assumes an air of mysterious superiority, gazing down at the sect below. I am checking the techniques on this floor. Every jade scroll glows with silver light. I recall something I read on the floors below. Heaven-grade techniques are not only profound in themselves, they are also one of a kind in this world. Legend says that when a technique first came into existence, it carried a trace of its creator's will, sealed deep within the jade scroll. Over long periods of storage, the scroll develops a spirit of its own. Top-tier techniques can even choose their own master. And what I am seeing right now is exactly that, the scroll's spirits reaching out. After one full lap, the brightest scroll catches my eye. I pick it up and examine it closely. The Shadow Serpent art is certainly impressive, but I have no interest in spiritual cultivation techniques. I toss it aside. What I don't realize is that this single action makes the Holy Sun so furious that his eyelid twitches. The technique he takes so much pride in is completely worthless in this mortal's eyes. No matter how well he hides it, he can barely breathe right now. All he can do is curse silently, low-born peasant, narrow-sighted fool. He can't even appreciate the Shadow Serpent art. I, the Holy Sun, will see what kind of technique you end up choosing. Meanwhile, I am strolling around the 8th floor with my hands behind my back. None of the techniques here interest me, but the travel journals and miscellaneous texts actually catch my attention. The scrolls contain not just basic information about this world, but also detailed accounts of the major powers. While not useful for advancing my realm, I treat it as broadening my knowledge. After reading through them, I walk to the staircase. The best techniques must be on the top floor. That is where the Tai sect's true, ages-old heritage lies. With that thought, I bound up the stairs with a spring in my step, not knowing this move stuns everyone watching from above. He is still climbing? How is that possible? Am I hallucinating? Kyle is going for the 9th floor. He is even taking 2 steps at a time. Ancestors above, is the pavilion's formation really not broken? 1,000,000 years ago, our sect had one supreme genius who reached the 9th floor with a primordial god body. Kyle is just a mortal body. Does he really think he can reach the absolute peak? After the uproar dies down, the entire sect falls silent. Every eye locks onto the figure climbing those stairs. Even the 3 grand elders, busy inspecting the formation, cannot help but spare a sliver of attention to look down. Under the gaze of the entire sect, I step onto the 9th floor with ease. Almost instantly, the entire Tai void realm explodes. He made it. A mortal body has truly reached the top floor of the scripture pavilion, something unseen in a million years, and we are witnessing it today. Kyle defies all common sense. Once the sect breaks free, he is going to skyrocket straight to the top. He will become the hottest catch in every elder's eyes. The envy is real, but just as the entire sect is showering me with admiration, teaching Peak Master Varen's expression turns grim. He clasps his fist and bows to Thalon. Sect leader, I have a report. Just now, a junior elder from my peak sent a confession. He claims that some days ago a section of the scripture pavilion's formation temporarily failed. After reporting it, he secretly pocketed the premium spirit stones that were sent for repairs and substituted them with low-grade ones. I am afraid the scripture pavilion's talent detection formation may have truly malfunctioned. The moment these words leave his mouth, the entire place goes dead silent. Every elder stares at Varen in disbelief. Then the artisan peak elder can't help but push back. You must not speak nonsense. The scripture pavilion's formation was built by the Tao ancestor himself. He even infused it with a trace of his own power of law. How could it simply fail? Varen cups his fist toward the sky. I would never dare question the Tao ancestor. But time spares nothing. Even the mightiest cannot defy the passage of ages. What in this world can claim to last forever? The pavilion has stood for tens of millions of years. There is no guarantee its formations still hold at full strength. Perhaps a few crucial spirit stones really did cause the detection to fail. Hearing this exchange, the others start to come around. After all, Kyle joined only half a year ago. He still cannot even enter body tempering. Yet he walks straight to the 9th floor, breaking mortal body limits multiple times. If the detection formation really did glitch, then everything makes sense. The Holy Sun hears all of this and instantly feels on top again. So it was just a false alarm after all, and his lunar saint body is still the greatest in the world. Thalon turns his wrath on the culprit. Send that junior elder to the discipline hall to face punishment. Just as everyone is drowning in embarrassment over this fiasco, Yuval suddenly turns to Thalon with a sweet smile. Thalon, it seems you are no longer planning to take Kyle as your disciple. Since you've changed your mind, then this disciple is mine. The instant she says this, everyone freezes. After a beat, Thalon snaps back to his senses. Kyle's talent doesn't seem fake. Hearing this, Varen quickly presses. Can you confirm the detection formation is not broken? Thalon exhales. I cannot confirm that. But what happened today we were looking at all wrong. Because judging someone's talent does not require the pavilion's formation at all. The jade scrolls on the 7th and 8th floors are the proof. These words hit like thunder. Everyone suddenly recalls the moment I stepped onto the 8th floor. Every single jade scroll burst into radiant light. That was the heaven grade techniques acknowledging me. Once this clicks, the elders flip again. Heaven bless our sect. Thank goodness it wasn't a false alarm. I always knew KL had the aura of a supreme genius. It never looked fake. KL is the Taiyi sect's ultimate prodigy. Watching this spectacle, the core disciples' mouths twitch, their minds racing. First you say it's fake, then you say it's real. Are you messing with us? Can you please just pick one? Meanwhile, the one being called a prodigy, me, has just arrived on the 9th floor and begins calmly surveying my surroundings. The 9th floor of the scripture pavilion has no bookshelves or miscellaneous texts. Only dozens of jade scrolls float suspended in mid-air. The moment I take my first step, the scrolls all sink downward in silence, then erupt with dazzling light, racing to surround me. The elders watching are stunned, so it is true that techniques actively choose their master. That saying is not just words. Lysander's eyes immediately lock onto the Azure Dragon Sutra. It trails behind me like a puppy, but I completely ignore it. This drives the Holy Sun mad with rage. Thalon cannot help but marvel, so this is what a mortal body with limitless potential looks like. His future truly knows no bounds. In a daze, Thalon can almost see a future legend being born. Multiple training plans already form in his mind. With that, he steps forward and bows toward the depths of the Taiyi Void Realm. I address the 3 Grand Elders. Kyle's talent is extraordinary. I wish to place him in the Sect sequence ranking, with a status above both the Holy Sun and Holy Maiden. Once we escape, the Sect will pour everything into training him. The moment these words are spoken, the room trembles. The elders all sigh deeply, so Thalon has made that choice after all. The Sect sequence was an ancient wartime training system. Promising disciples were placed into a rank sequence, forced to compete against each other. The final victor would become first sequence, standing above all disciples, with access to the Sect's full resources. After peace returned, the system was deemed too aggressive, and was replaced by the gentler dual saint system. Now Thalon is reviving the sequence, which clearly means he sees Kyle as the Sect's successor. The Holy Sun tenses up, but the 3 Grand Elders do not respond immediately. They seem to be deliberating among themselves. Everyone waits for their verdict. But just then, a commotion erupts from the outer area. The elders sweep the area with their spiritual sense and discover Kyle is making another move. Just as I am about to choose a technique, the system's voice suddenly rings out. Congratulations, player! You have reached the top floor of the Sect Scripture Pavilion. Mortal body limit broken. Bonus guided quest reward triggered. One-time fusion token. I blink in surprise. But after a quick explanation, I understand what this token does. It can fuse multiple techniques into an advanced new one. But the success rate drops as the technique's grade increases. And since each heaven grade technique is one of a kind in this world, fusing them requires destroying the original Jade Scrolls. If it fails, the techniques are lost forever. And since mastering them isn't even that difficult, fusing heaven-grade techniques is considered one of the greatest crimes against the martial Tao. Thinking about this, I hesitate. The system immediately responds, "Player, trust in this system's capabilities. Everything is to ensure your survival in the world catastrophe, 1020 to 4 days from now. There is too little time. Even with a 10,000-fold talent boost, training only upper heaven-grade techniques will not be enough to reach Celestial Sovereign in such a short time. You must create a technique more powerful than any upper heaven-grade art, the strongest in the world. Only then will you have a chance at survival." My heart pounds wildly. Since the system has already paved the way, what reason do I have to hold back? Following the fusion rite procedure I learned inside the pavilion, I begin the process. The very next second, every heaven-grade jade scroll on this floor surges toward the swirling white vortex in front of me. The system chimes, one-time fusion token successfully used. What I don't realize is that right now, in the Tai Yi void realm above, every elder is staring at me with fury in their eyes. Thalan's eyes burn with killing intent. Kyle has severed the Tai Yi legacy. His crime is unforgivable. He must die. Then Elder Yorith of Justice Peak steps forward. "Sect leader, I suspect Kyle may be a spy planted by a rival power. Why else would he commit such an act to destroy our sect's heritage?" Then an elder from Herb Peak adds coldly, "Spy or fool, it doesn't matter. He has already destroyed our legacy. If we don't grind his bones to dust, how can we face the world?" Yuval sighs softly, a trace of regret in her heart. Fusing all 37 upper heaven grade techniques into one, the success rate is virtually zero. It seems this mortal body prodigy has no chance of recovery. The disciples, inner and outer alike, rage. He fused every upper heaven grade technique in the pavilion. How could he dare? The Tai Yi sect may not be a kingdom, but it is still a community. Since he joined this sect, learned our techniques and trained under our roof, even if he isn't grateful, he shouldn't stab us in the back. And to think I just considered Kyle someone great, I was practically worshipping him. Now I see I was blind. Kyle is a criminal for the ages. Meanwhile, the Holy Sun listens to the curses flying around him, looking almost dazed. What just happened? 1 second ago Kyle was the sect leader's hand-picked sequence candidate. The next second he is public enemy number 1. And Lysander himself didn't even lift a finger, yet he has gone from total defeat to a complete comeback. A smirk creeps onto his face. But just as he is about to savor the moment, he remembers how every twist so far has reversed itself. Could this be yet another fake-out? So he holds back and decides to keep watching. He first glances at the sect below. Kyle stands with his arms cradling the air, still performing the fusion rite. The 37 jade scrolls have been almost entirely consumed. The Holy Sun quietly relaxes. Then he looks toward the sect leader. At that very moment, a massive blurred face made of spiritual energy materializes in the sky above, its overwhelming presence blanketing the entire realm. Thalon looks tiny beneath it. The next second, the colossal face speaks a single word. Out! It seems a grand elder has truly lost his temper. Kyle is as good as dead. But just as the Holy Sun is secretly celebrating, a brilliant golden lotus of spiritual energy erupts from the top of the scripture pavilion. Endless radiant light pierces through the clouds, cascading downward in layers of heavenly splendor around the 9th floor. Seeing this, the entire Tai Yi sect freezes. Thalon stares at the figure below in disbelief. A mere mortal fused 37 upper heaven grade techniques, and actually succeeded? While he is still in shock, a calm, steady voice speaks. When a supreme art is born, a heavenly spectacle always follows. Just as forging a 9th grade pill, or crafting a legendary weapon, draws the favor of the heavenly Tao, which sends down 1,000 rays of light in celebration. Thalon looks up and sees the colossal face dissolve into a streak of light. In an instant it descends before him and solidifies into a white-haired figure. This is Grand Elder Lazran. Thalon bows hastily. Greetings, Grand Elder. Lazran waves casually, no need for formalities. Then his gaze falls to the scene below. This boy is truly remarkable. He has no cultivation, and has never trained in any of these 37 upper heaven grade techniques. Yet somehow he understands the essence of every single one. And before the fusion is even complete, the heavens have already sent down signs of celebration. Could it be that this world truly has a once-in-an-eternity genius? Hearing these words, Thalon's heart stirs. He lowers his voice. Could this boy be a reincarnation of a great power? Or perhaps possessed by an old monster? Lazran thinks briefly and shakes his head. No. After reaching Tao anchoring, as long as one's Tao endures, the person endures. If their Tao still exists, why would they need to possess another? On the other hand, if their Tao has faded and their soul has perished, there would be no chance of reincarnation or possession at all. Extraordinary people do extraordinary things. No need for alarm. Hearing this exchange, every elder and disciple trembles. KL is truly something else. He had just committed a crime punishable by death, and yet he actually pulled off the fusion rite. Even a grand elder came down personally to inspect the result, and confirmed that he is neither possessed nor reincarnated. He succeeded purely through his own martial talent. This is truly beyond comprehension. Just then, Elder Yorith of Justice Peak suddenly speaks up. If I may ask the Grand Elder, are we still going to kill Kyle? Thalon snaps furiously. Yorith, watch your tongue. Kyle is the Tai Yi sect's supreme genius and our future hope. When did the Grand Elder ever say he should be killed? Yorith's body goes rigid. He opens his mouth to say something, but Soren beside him frantically tugs at his sleeve. Yorith sheepishly steps back and cautiously glances at the Grand Elder. Lazaren's expression remains unchanged. He doesn't spare the elders a second look. His attention is fixed on the scripture pavilion. When he sees the fusion complete and a brand new jade scroll emerge from the white mist swirling at Kyle's chest, a flash of solemnity crosses his face. Then his voice echoes throughout the entire Taiyi Void Realm. Outer Gate probationary disciple Kyle. Virtuous in character, supreme in talent. He is the first disciple in 1,000,000 years to reach the top of the scripture pavilion. By this decree, he is granted Sect sequence status, ranking above both saints, as the head of all outer, inner, and core disciples. This decree takes effect the moment we escape this realm. The instant these words ring out, every single disciple is floored. After a brief moment of silence, the Taiyi Void Realm erupts into deafening chaos. I am such a fool. I actually dared to question Kyle fusing 37 upper heaven grade techniques. Who in all of history has ever pulled that off? Kyle really had us fooled with that fake out. He scared us half to death, trading every technique on the top floor for one fusion upgrade. You can't call that a bad deal, but its significance is enormous, because the world's first technique that surpasses upper heaven grade was born right here in the Taiyi sect. Over 100,000 disciples flipped their stance in unison. Meanwhile, my reputation soaring once again, I gaze happily at the jade scroll floating before me. The fusion rite worked. The one-time fusion token is incredible. While I was casting the rite, I actually learned all 37 techniques completely. With the system backing me up, this supreme heaven-grade technique is born. It combines the strengths of all 37 upper heaven-grade arts, encompassing everything, yet it is compatible only with a mortal body. And because its talent requirement is so extreme, only I can cultivate it. Once all the heavenly signs fade, I reach forward and grip the jade scroll in my hand. Then I let out a soft sigh. Plans really can't keep up with changes. I originally wanted to find a body tempering technique to start with, but I accidentally triggered the floor climbing reward and fused an entirely new all-encompassing technique. I never had high hopes for this kind of multi-realm cultivation system because I figured these types of techniques offer mediocre power boosts. My original plan was to switch to a dedicated technique for each new realm, but this supreme heaven-grade art, while being an all-encompassing system, covers every realm. Built on the foundation of 37 upper heaven-grade techniques, its effect at each realm can be pushed to the absolute peak, no worse than a realm-specific technique. Take body tempering, for example. The new art draws from the essence of the solar furnace body, a technique that specializes in body refinement. If my guess is right, at just the first level of body tempering, the strength of one arm alone could very well exceed 10,000 pounds. Once I reach the 10th level of body tempering, my physical body will definitely reach an extremely terrifying level. Thinking of this, I excitedly prepare to receive the cultivation technique information, but then I notice the jade slip, emitting bursts of light with my movements, connecting to my sea of consciousness. After receiving the first message from the jade slip, I can't help but smile slightly. It asks me to give it a name. Then, stroking my chin, I ponder for a moment. Since it's a supreme divine technique that integrates multiple cultivation methods, combining the strengths of 100 schools, and gathers all the advantages, as the saying goes, from the primordial chaos arises the ultimate. Why not call it the primordial Taoist treasury? As soon as I finished speaking, another celestial phenomenon descended, followed by the jade slip shining brightly, then automatically manifesting the characters, primordial Taoist treasury. Satisfied, I nod and reach for the jade scroll. I press it against my forehead, guided by the faint spiritual essence within. Every word of the boundless Tao archive pours into my mind. A few breaths pass and I absorb it all. My eyes snap open. This technique is absolutely insane. It has 3 core traits. First, it carries no elemental bias, perfectly resolving conflicts between different energy types in the body. Second, it has no cultivation bottlenecks. It runs on its own, refining me every single moment, and it automatically optimizes its own circulation path. Third, it has no weak points in combat arts. Attack, defense, shielding, I can freely mix and match any combination. Beyond these 3 traits, it has also evolved 3 exclusive divine arts, 10,000 arts confluence, true form of the great elephant, and Tao I true realm. As the archive's description runs through my mind, my eyes burn with excitement, but the fire fades almost as quickly as it ignites. I shake my head. These 3 arts are still far out of reach. I can only unlock them after breaking through the nirvana barrier. Right now, what matters is entering the body tempering realm. With that in mind, I drop into position right where I stand and begin cultivating. With every breath, I feel spiritual energy surging through my meridians, every muscle in my body tightening, my bones and tendons crackling at intervals. While I train in focused silence, the elders inside the Taiyi Void Realm have settled down. Supreme Elder Lazaren has vanished high above, resuming his inspection of the realm's exit. Teaching Peak Master Varen speaks up. Kyle, that technique has quite the name. It carries the air of a supreme divine art, impressive taste. No one is surprised by his change of tune anymore. Artisan Peak Elder Dorgan nods along. Kyle's talent is unmatched. Now that he is training in the boundless Tao archive, I wonder if he can reach the body tempering realm in under 3 days. The elders light up and dive in. 3 days to temper the body? That would be top tier by any standard in the cultivation world. And that is putting it mildly. Throughout all of history, fewer than 100 cultivators have tempered their body within 10 days. Fewer than 10 have done it within 5, and within 3 days, only one person has ever managed it. You mean that legendary genius from the Eastern Wildlands 2 million years ago? What a waste. He dominated his entire era, reaching the peak of the soul-crossing realm, only to fail his attempt at the true return realm. He fell to the Great Tao Tribulation. Truly a tragedy. At that moment, Divination Peak Master Soren speaks up. The best records in our sect still belong to the current Holy Son and Holy Daughter, right? Varen nods with a sigh. When the Holy Son cultivated, it took him just over 8 days to enter the body-tempering realm. The Holy Daughter, due to her constitution, only needed 6. He pauses, then turns to Holy Son Lysander. Lysander, how long do you think Kyle will take? Every gaze shifts to the Holy Son. Lysander takes a long moment before answering. Kyle's talent is extraordinary. I wouldn't dare guess carelessly. But on the path of martial cultivation, talent alone is not enough. Comprehension matters just as much. Training a supreme-grade heaven technique places even greater demands on insight, and the time needed to grasp it will be longer. Given all that, it is perfectly reasonable if Kyle takes more than 3 days. The elders nod, satisfied. Lysander's assessment lines up exactly with their own. After all, a mortal body gets none of the special bonuses that rare constitutions provide. Being slower is only natural. Still, within 10 days feels like a safe bet. Yuvale finds herself even more impressed by Kyle now, and her desire to take him as her own disciple only grows stronger. At the same time, she is curious, how many days will it actually take this miracle-working mortal body prodigy to break through? Meanwhile, I am deep in training with the Boundless Tao Archive. With the system's 10,000-fold talent boost active, my comprehension is off the charts. By the 5th repetition, I no longer need to consciously control my breathing or energy pathways. When the night finally passes and I draw in the first breath of dawn's spiritual energy, my body snaps taut. The system chimes in my ear. Ding! Player has reached the body tempering realm. Guided quest complete. Reward granted 1 martial skill mastery token. My heart surges with excitement, but the elders watching from above are even more worked up. They just watched a mortal reach the body tempering realm. In only 6 hours. Taiyi Sect Master Thalon mutters in a daze. 6 hours. That breaks the all-time record for fastest body tempering. He thinks back to when he himself broke through. It took him a full 17 days. For the first time, Thalon truly feels the gap between people when it comes to cultivation. Then he laughs at himself. Lucky I was born 3,000 years before him. If we had lived in the same era, my Tao heart might have shattered. But several elders are frowning now. Kyle has officially stepped onto the cultivation path, but we are still trapped. Who is going to guide him? The body tempering realm is the very first stage, and it matters enormously. How well you build this foundation directly determines how far you can go. There are countless supplementary methods for this stage, and using them wrong is just as bad as not using them at all. The difference in final results can be enormous. We can only hope we get free soon, and that the kid doesn't go off and train blindly on his own. Thalon goes quiet. All he can do is silently pray that the Boundless Tao Archive is extraordinary enough that even training by the book without any outside guidance still yields something remarkable. Unlike the worried elders, train through the entire night and feel absolutely incredible. I stretch my arms with barely contained excitement. Half a year since I crossed over, and I have finally touched the transcendent. I am no longer just a mortal. After a moment to adjust to the feeling, I curl my fist, curious. Let's see where my strength actually stands. If someone trained with the Solar Furnace body art, their single-arm strength after body tempering would reach 9,200 pounds. Pair that with a rare constitution, and 10,000 is no problem. I have a mortal body, but the Boundless Tao Archive is on a completely different level. Breaking 10,000 pounds should be easy, I just don't know what my ceiling is. After a moment's thought, I decide to head to the training hall and test it. But first, I need to use the martial skill mastery token. The system just rewarded me. I'll master a martial skill, then head over. Combat power in this world is built from techniques, martial skills, divine arts, treasures, and divine weapons. Of these, martial skills and divine arts are the core of any cultivator's fighting ability. And according to the Boundless Tao Archive, the body tempering stage requires fighting beast creatures to forge the body, and Beast Peak's demon beasts are perfect for that. I pace the 9th floor of the scripture pavilion, scanning through upper heaven-grade martial skill jade scrolls. The Taiyi dust whisk palm, flowing and graceful, like a sage brushing away dust. Not really my style. The heaven-severing finger, that one looks solid, but using finger strikes against demon beasts doesn't feel reliable enough. Maybe. I'll keep it in mind. I keep browsing until I stop in front of a hovering jade scroll. The spiritual energy radiating from this scroll seems to pulse and respond to everything around it. I read the description beside it. 5 Sacred Mountain Fist, upper heaven-grade martial skill. Channels the soul of the world's sacred peaks through the intent of each strike. Every punch lands like a mountain descending, immense and unyielding, suppressing all in its path. Warning, this technique requires a solid foundation. Only those who have reached body tempering first layer with strength exceeding 10,000 pounds may practice it. I finish reading and feel a wave of pure joy surge through me. Now that is a fist art built for dominance. It might as well have been made for me. The 5 sacred mountains of this world are nothing like what I knew before. They are not just massive and towering, they are laced with countless spiritual and mineral veins, nourishing countless living beings. This technique claims that at its peak, it can summon the mountain souls of all 5 peaks to suppress anything in the world. There's some exaggeration in that, but the power is not to be underestimated. After all, a martial skill scales with cultivation level. In the hands of a body-tempering cultivator, it's barely a scratch, but a peak soul-crossing master unleashing it could level the heavens and shatter the earth, maybe even sink an entire continent with a single blow. The more I think about it, the more excited I get. I press the jade scroll against my forehead, and the secrets of the fist art and cultivation insights flood into my mind. A few breaths later, I pull it away with a satisfied smile. I don't rush to use the mastery token just yet. Instead, I head out of the scripture pavilion with a light step, jump onto my sky skiff, and make straight for the training hall at Teaching Peak. Up above, when the elders see me pick the 5 sacred mountain fist, their brows knit together almost in unison. Why would Kyle choose that? The 5 sacred mountain fist has sat in the scripture pavilion for millions of years. Plenty of people have tried to master it, but the only success story seems to be the 32nd Sect master. Correct. That Grandmaster Song was extraordinarily gifted. He possessed the peerless dominant body, the ideal constitution for physical tempering. After he brought the 5 sacred mountain fist to full mastery, he was unrivaled across the entire world. But despite its unmatched power, the difficulty of mastering it is extreme. I believe Grandmaster Song never fully completed it. That's an understatement. Before Grandmaster Song passed, he admitted openly that chasing this technique consumed far too many years of his life, leaving him without enough lifespan in the end. He might otherwise have touched the soul-crossing realm. One has to wonder whether Grandmaster Song had any regrets in his final moments. But what happened to him is ancient history now. The real question is why Kyle would pick this. Exactly, he just entered body tempering. It's his first time training a martial skill. A mystic grade technique would be far more appropriate at this stage. The elders all believe cultivation should follow a balanced path. Watching a talent like this stumble down the wrong road through reckless choices fills them with anxiety, especially Thalon, who is frowning and thinking hard. Kyle's talent is undeniable, but he has a mortal body. When training the 5 sacred mountain fist, he won't have the natural advantage the peerless dominant body provides. This path is going to be brutal. Yuvale stands nearby, equally unwilling to watch Kyle waste his potential. She turns to the group. We have all cultivated for thousands of years. Divine arts, unorthodox methods, our knowledge and experience far surpass that of any ordinary disciple. Are you telling me none of us can figure out a way to reach through the Taiyi void realm and communicate with the outside? Even a warning signal would be better than just standing here doing nothing. The elders fall into deep thought. While I hold the minds of all those powerful elders hostage with worry, I ride my sky skiff into the training hall, a place specifically built for body-tempering disciples to measure their physical strength. I scan the equipment scattered across the floor and settle on a stone weight, 10,000 pounds. I take a deep breath and hoist it with one arm. I lift it clean over my head. I expected some resistance, but it feels like nothing. I'm genuinely stunned. I had underestimated myself. I set the weight down and keep testing heavier and heavier equipment. In the end, I find the limit. One arm can barely lift an 18,000-pound stone sphere. The boundless Tao archive really is something else. At just the first layer of body tempering, my single arm strength has already hit 18,000 pounds. The higher your starting strength in the body tempering realm, the greater the returns later on. Each layer breakthrough amplifies the body across the board. By the time I reach peak body tempering, the compounded gains will be massive. After sitting with that thought for a moment, I can't help but grin. Now this is the script I was meant to follow. If the entire sect hadn't disappeared with 18,000 pounds of single-arm strength, I'd have earned a core disciple spot for sure. Too bad the Great Calamity's only 3 years out. Right now, all I can do is throw everything I have into surviving. With that thought, I head into the building at the far end of the training grounds. A full day and night of intense studying and training has left me completely drained. I desperately need to sleep and recover. Once I'm rested, I'll train the 5 sacred mountain fists to initial mastery, then head to Beast Peak to fight demon beasts for physical tempering. I run through the plan in my head as I step inside the building. I find the nearest bed and crash hard. Meanwhile, my 18,000-pound display sends shockwaves through both the inner and outer disciples. What just happened? He lifted an 18,000-pound sphere with one hand? Isn't a mortal body supposed to have 0 special bonuses? How is he this strong at just the first layer body tempering? Kyle absolutely deserves that sequence rank the Supreme Elder personally assigned him. He tempered his body in a single night, and now 18,000 pounds with one arm, that has to be a new sect record. His talent may actually surpass mine. Whoever said top-tier geniuses can only come from prestigious clans and holy grounds? Kyle is the model every outer disciple should aspire to. But as night deepens and I fall asleep, the crowd loses its focus. The boredom starts to creep in. Core and inner disciples having trained for decades can endure the weight. But the outer disciples start getting restless. They start chatting among themselves, and somehow the conversation always circles back to me. Yesterday felt like a dream. I'd never seen a celestial phenomenon before. And the wild part is, it was triggered by a mortal. Why didn't Kyle come with us into the Tai Void Realm? Who knows, I bet he has no idea where we went. So from Kyle's perspective, he just woke up and the entire sect had vanished without a trace. Lucky him, with the whole sect empty he can use whatever he wants. True, and the Supreme Elder even gave him a sequence rank. With a status like that, even if he tore the whole sect apart once we get out, Thalen probably wouldn't say a word, might even compliment his strength. What if we never get out? Then Kyle is in for a rough time. One person alone in a sect this massive, with no one to talk to, not even a pet. A few months might be fine, but years, decades, anyone would go insane. An Outer Peak Elder supervisor overhears this exchange and rolls his eyes. You bunch of idiots. If we truly can't get out, who knows how Kyle would feel, but we'd be the ones losing our minds first. Besides, all 3 Supreme Elders are here with us. There's no way we stay trapped. He quietly glances up toward the depths of the Void Realm, and for some reason, a quiet unease settles in his chest. Deep at the center of the Tai Void Realm, the sect's leadership isn't worried about escaping. They're urgently trying to find a way to contact Kyle and stop him from wasting time on the 5 Sacred Mountain Fist. Varen paces with a furrowed brow. Transmitting sound via spiritual energy blocked. Sending warnings through celestial signs, also blocked. What else is there? For half the night the elders of all 12 peaks have been throwing out ideas, but not a single one holds up. The root of the problem is the Tai Void Realm's barrier laws. They are simply too powerful. The boundary separating this realm from the outside world is beyond anything at their level to breach. Yuvale pulls a petal-adorned sword from her storage ring and sighs. What a shame my Blossom Burial sword got pulled in here with me. If it were outside, I might have been able to control it remotely and catch Kyle's attention. Hearing this, Soul Anchor Peak Master Draven's eyes light up. Everyone, Yuvale just reminded me of something. What if we try to remotely control one of the puppet beasts still inside the sect? Eyes light up across the room because puppetry art works by splitting one's spiritual sense and embedding it into the puppet for control. This kind of split sense technique carries an extremely high priority, comparable to a blood-bonded weapon. Even across vast distances, formation barriers can't completely block the connection. Artisan Peak Elder Dorgan looks at him eagerly. Draven, hurry up and try to connect with that pile of scrap metal of yours. Before Draven can even react, Varen cuts in with a frown looking at Dorgan. Dorgan, why do you keep poking at Draven's weak spots? If you already think they're worthless, just keep it to yourself. Why say it out loud? Thalen has had enough. Varen, you two, stop talking. Draven straightens and gives a stiff bow to Thalen. Sect Master, I'll begin. Thalen nods with anticipation. Go ahead. Don't hold back. Failure is fine. Draven nods, then presses 2 fingers together and quietly activates his divine art technique. The elders watch as a strain on his face grows, his complexion turning pale. After quite a while, Draven suddenly releases the technique, gasping and wiping sweat from his forehead. Seeing this, Yuvale steps forward quickly. Draven, what happened? Draven shakes his head. The barrier laws left behind by the Tai Yi Dao ancestor are too strong. My spiritual sense commands can't push through. Everyone deflates a little. Then Draven continues. There is one exception, though. One small puppet beast faintly responded to me. It was one I made when I first started learning puppetry, a palm-sized little Cheong-Chi. It was a failed attempt, a defective beast, so I tossed it in a storage room at Soul Anchor Peak. My connection to every other higher-level puppet was completely cut off by the Tai Void Realm. Perhaps driving them requires too strong a flow of spiritual sense. But this failed little beast needs almost nothing, so it got through. Being a defective reject, it can't use any spiritual energy techniques, so its capabilities are very limited. Thalen waves a hand dismissively. That's fine. As long as it can move and be controlled, that's enough. We just need to find Kyle and have your puppet beast write out the full situation on the ground. That's all it needs to do. As far as Thalen is concerned, it doesn't matter whether Draven's puppet beast can fight or transmit sound. The sect is safe, and Kyle won't be in any danger. As long as the little puppet beast can move properly under control, that counts as a success. Find Kyle, write the message on the ground, simple. Kyle will figure it out from there. The other elders think exactly the same. Yuvale smiles. Draven, hurry and send the beast to find Kyle. Once he gives up on the 5 Sacred Mountain Fist, he can switch to my lower heaven-grade Tai Yi Azure Light Sword. But before she even finishes, Thalen cuts in. What kind of nonsense is that? Once we reach Kyle, he's obviously learning the wood renewal art from me. It's a lower heaven-grade divine art, perfectly suited to start from the body tempering stage, incredibly rare in this era. Once fully mastered, even with a single breath of life remaining, you can regenerate from nothing. Yuvale keeps her smile and replies sweetly. So Thalen's position is that our once-in-a-million-year Scripture Pavilion 9th floor genius shouldn't bother learning how to fight at all, and should instead prioritize how to survive a beating? Is that right? Watching the two of them go at it, Draven, who has been biting his tongue, steps forward. Thalan, Yuvale, please stop arguing. My little beast can't write. The room goes silent. Thalan's brow furrows. What do you mean by that? Yuvale looks equally baffled. It's a beast. It should have claws. How can it not write on the ground? Draven shuffles a little and rubs his hands together. Because I designed all 4 of its legs as round balls. You'll understand once you see it. He activates his technique and releases his spiritual sense, instantly connecting to a storage room down in the sect below. Then, to everyone's stunned disbelief, a round little metal ball rolls out of the storage room's small door and reveals its true form under the moonlight. It is a palm-sized, rust-covered metal Qiangxi. At first glance, it looks like a tin toy. Its eyes are two inlaid rubies. On its back sit a pair of wings that appear to have been stitched together from rags. Its four legs are so short they're barely visible. It wobbles when it moves, and its tail is a broken broom. Draven's face flushes red as he points at it. Look, it can barely walk. How is it supposed to write anything for Kyle? Everyone stares in silence. Soren can't hold back. Draven, what on earth did you make? If you ever had to fight someone with this thing, are you planning to make them laugh themselves to death? Draven shoots back irritably. I already told you it's a failed product. And besides, don't you think it's kind of adorable? Just as the two are about to go at each other, Talon steps in firmly. Enough. Everyone quiet. Draven, how is this thing supposed to reach Kyle? Draven explains quickly. Sect Master, even though the beast's internal formations are nearly non-functional, those wings can still be activated normally, so it does have some flight capability. Hearing this, Thalon's eyes light up. He quietly thanks his luck. It's a good thing the base form is a Qiangxi. Without those wings, this whole plan would have been a dead end. He immediately gives the order, try activating them. If it works, send it flying toward Teaching Peak. As for how to communicate with Kyle once it gets there, we'll figure that out as we go. Draven accepts the order and splits off a thread of spiritual sense to take control. The little puppet beast immediately flaps its ragged wings and takes off. Its round little body sways unsteadily in the air. The elders watch with visible concern. Seeing their worry, Draven quickly reassures them. There's no need to worry. Yes, it's a failed creation, but the materials used were top quality. It's forged from star metal flux iron. The body is tough enough to take a direct hit from a Violet Palace cultivator. That puts the elders at ease. Time ticks by slowly. By the time the sun is high in the sky, I finally get up. After a quick wash, I start mentally running through my training plans as I walk into the training grounds. First I loosen up and warm up, then decide to try one round of the 5 Sacred Mountain Fist without the system's help, just to see where I stand. But before I even settle into position, I spot something in the sky not far off. A round metal lump is weaving drunkenly toward me. As it gets close, I swing my leg and kick it hard. It shoots back the way it came. At that exact moment, all the elders watching from above freeze. They watched that little puppet beast fly through the entire night, finally make it all the way to Teaching Peak, and then, before it could even properly meet Kyle, it got kicked back into the sky. Thalon recovers first. He shouts urgently, "Hurry, turn it around and send it back. We have to intercept Kyle before he starts training that fist art." Draven nods through gritted teeth. He's been controlling the scrap metal Qiangxi all night. The spiritual sense connection between them is now dangerously thin, and his control is becoming unstable. Worse, he can't push more spiritual sense into it, or it will be cut off by the Taiyi Void Realm's barrier wall, and the link will sever completely. All he can do is carefully follow that faint, fragile thread of response, and coax the puppet beast back to Teaching Peak as fast as possible. On the other side, I stand rubbing my chin, genuinely confused. What was that thing just now? Felt like a puppet beast. I think back to that kick, the weight of it, the brief look I got up close. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am. Puppet beasts are a rare sight in most places, but within the Taiyi sect, thanks to Soul Anchor Peak's presence, they're not that uncommon. When I first joined the sect, I once spotted a puppet beast at the outer peak. It was enormous. A massive iron bird forged entirely from steel and metal, carrying several core disciples who had just returned from outside the sect. I had no idea what it was at the time. I only found out by overhearing a nearby outer disciple talking about it. It left me marveling at how wildly different cultivation methods were in this world. As I recall, puppet beasts are created using a cultivator's spiritual sense, giving them a kind of awareness, similar to the jade scrolls in the scripture pavilion. Now that the entire sect is evacuated, all the puppets and mechanisms should have gone with them. Yet that little metal lump got left behind. Maybe it missed the departure just like I did, got separated from the group, then happened to find me and came looking for some company. I'm still puzzling over it, but I don't dwell on it too long. It's just a puppet beast after all. I shake my head and settle into position, ready to start training. But right at that moment, out of the corner of my eye, I catch a little metal lump appearing at the top of the training ground steps. It wobbles its way toward me, and then, thud, it slams right into my shin. I stumble from the impact. Its 4 round iron feet kick wildly in the air while its broomtail slaps the ground repeatedly. I blink, tap the top of its metal head with a finger, and hit it with 3 questions back to back. Oh, you're back, little metal lump. Are you here for a reason? Do you know what actually happened in this sect? And can you even understand me? At that exact moment, the elders watching from above can barely contain themselves. Thalen grabs Draven by the arm. Now, make the puppet respond. Draven immediately pushes his spiritual sense, but the more he rushes, the more unstable the connection becomes. The little beast below shows no reaction, and my expression starts to fall. Draven breaks into a cold sweat all over again. Yuvail, watching this, looks puzzled. It's just a nod. How is that so hard? Draven's expression turns pained. You think I don't want it to nod? After flying it all night, whatever stability was left in its internal formations is completely gone. A lot of commands just aren't getting through reliably. Dorgan pulls a disgusted face. So this piece of junk is completely useless now? Draven immediately jumps to its defense. What kind of thing is that to say? Without my little Cheung-chi, we wouldn't even have this tiny bit of contact with Kyle right now. And it's not completely helpless either, I just tested it. Nodding is too difficult, but shaking its head, that it can do. At that moment, Thalon notices Kyle is starting to lose interest, about to set the little Cheung-chi down. He shouts urgently, then make it shake now. The other elders are horrified. No, Thalon, that would only negate the curiosity Kyle just started to feel. Before Thalon can respond, Yuvail cuts in. Thalon is right, if nodding isn't possible then shake. What matters most right now is making Kyle realize this beast has intelligence, that it is not just an ordinary puppet. If Kyle keeps it close because of that, then we will always have opportunities to slowly communicate with him and guide him toward the truth. The elders all catch up at once. It doesn't really matter whether it nods or shakes right now, what matters is that it responds at all. Draven refocuses and pushes the command through. Just as I am about to toss the strange little beast aside, its metal head begins to slowly shake back and forth. I stare at it in disbelief. You actually understand me. A head shake means it really is an abandoned stray, just as lost as I am about what happened to the sect. Coming to find me was probably just because it recognized me as a sect disciple and figured staying near me meant some kind of security. Poor little thing. With that thought, I don't kick the little Cheung-chi away this time. After all, apart from me, the only thing still moving in this entire sect is this goofy little puppet. Keeping it around is at least some company. I set it back down on the ground. If you want to tag along, then stay, but I'm about to train, so step back, I don't want to accidentally hurt you. At my words, the metal Cheung-chi freezes up, seeming to process what I said. Up above in the void realm, the elders all exhale in relief. The puppet beast has successfully stayed at Kyle's side, meaning their one and only channel of communication remains open. Draven holds his technique and asks, so what do we do now? That question stumps everyone. One broken little Cheung-chi, it can't speak, can't write, can't even nod. How are they supposed to warn Kyle away from the 5 sacred mountain fist? Then suddenly Divination Peak Master Soren steps forward. I have an idea. Draven, control the beast and use its movement path across the ground, use its whole body to trace out the message we need to send. It might look strange at first, but after a few repetitions with Kyle's intelligence he'll figure it out. The idea lands immediately, every elder applauds. Draven begins operating at once, and just as Kyle settles into his stance, the rusty little puppet beast suddenly starts darting around like it's having a seizure. But since its 4 feet are round balls, it ends up rolling and tumbling more than running. Not only is Kyle completely baffled, even the elders in the Taiyi Void Realm are at a loss. Soren frowns, pointing the finger. Draven, what exactly are you doing up there? Who could possibly read that as writing? Draven fires back. Then you do it. The little Cheung-chi can barely walk straight to begin with. Now I'm supposed to make it write a whole message? The fact that it's doing anything at all is impressive. Soren is about to clap back when Thalon silences him with a look. Thalon asks calmly, Draven, what are you trying to write? Draven answers, the sect is fine. Do not train the 5 sacred mountain fist. Thalon shakes his head. Too many characters. Simplify it to just these 4, do not train. Draven immediately complies. But down below, the already chaotic movements of the scrap metal Cheung-chi haven't even finished tracing the first message before the path suddenly changes. Kyle initially writes the whole thing off as the puppet glitching out, but as he keeps watching, something about the movement pattern starts to feel deliberate. He can't help but look more closely. Are you actually trying to write something? But what does it say? Up above, every single elder erupts. Thank the heavens. Tai Yi Dao ancestor, watch over us, he figured it out. Kyle really does have an extraordinary mind. If he's already guessed the beast is writing, he'll definitely be able to read it. Draven, this is your moment. Steady that spiritual sense and write as clearly as you possibly can. Draven is under enormous pressure right now. If the little Cheung-chi's 4 stubby legs could just hold still, writing with round feet on the ground wouldn't be that hard. But the joint in each foot shifts constantly on its own, and he can't even reliably make it nod. Now he has to draw actual characters with legs that have a mind of their own. The 4 characters for Do Not Train come out hopelessly crooked, and all they can do is hope Kyle can decode the chaos. Kyle studies the puppet's movement carefully, staring for a long time, and barely manages to make something out. It really is writing. The strokes are a mess, but it's definitely trying to tell me something. I think I can see the character for want. In that same instant, as Kyle picks out that one character, the Taiyi Void Realm erupts. He got one right. Kyle's talent is terrifying. Honestly, even knowing the answer, I cannot find a single stroke that looks right in what that beast drew. And yet Kyle still managed to get one. The man is a genius. Whether it's cultivation talent or raw intelligence, Kyle stands at the very top. A talent like this is a joy to watch. We absolutely must guide him down the right path. Agreed. Whether the Taiyi sect can reclaim its glorious future rests entirely on Kyle's shoulders. Thalon exhales deeply, finally feeling some calm settle in. Kyle is sharp. If he got the character for want, there's no way he misses the simpler character for not. And once he has both, no matter how crooked the puppet beast's scrawling is, just those 2 characters, do not. Combined with where they are right now, in the training grounds, Kyle will put it together. And if this step works, everything after, explaining the situation, guiding Kyle from a distance, stops being a dream. With that thought, Thelon and Uvail and the others feel confident for the first time. Down below, after watching the beast's movements again and again, Kyle fills in the blanks himself and announces with certainty, the first character is Want. The rest is hard to read, but I think I can see a character for Train. There seem to be over 10 characters in this message, and I managed to identify 2. That's not bad at all. But what does Want Train mean? Is it trying to tell me not to slack off? The moment those words leave his mouth, the chaotic little puppet beast freezes completely. The elders in the Taiyi Void Realm collectively lose it. No, how did he read Want but completely miss the character right before it? The character for Not. I think the real problem is, why does Kyle think the beast drew over 10 characters? There were only supposed to be 4. Kyle is brilliant. This has to be a control problem on Draven's end. Draven, what happened? Draven looks at everyone, visibly pained. Everyone, I did my best. As for why Kyle counted over 10 characters, it's because the first message was much longer, and then we changed it halfway through. That's what caused the confusion. At that explanation, everyone goes silent. Varen stamps his foot in frustration. Even so, he can't have read it as Want Train. That is the exact opposite of what we were trying to say. No one else knows what to add. Then Kyle's voice drifts up from below. Hey little guy, from now on, I'm calling you Rusty. You're absolutely right, time is short and I can't afford to fall behind. Today, no matter what, I'm getting the 5 Sacred Mountain Fist to initial mastery. The elders couldn't care less what Kyle names the beast. The moment they hear he's about to start training, they all tense up immediately. Draven pushes out his spiritual sense, desperately making the little Cheong-Chi shake its head in warning. But Kyle just glances at it and chuckles. Alright, I get it, you're watching me, making sure I don't slack off. Don't worry, I'm starting right now. With that, Kyle sets his mind on everything he absorbed about the 5 Sacred Mountain Fist and begins to train in earnest. Wave after wave of presence builds around him, and the elder's last shred of hope quietly dies. It's over. Once he goes down this path, initial mastery won't come in under 20 or 30 years. A once-in-a-million-years genius is going to be held back by a single upper heaven-grade martial skill. The elders keep watching closely, when suddenly Dorgan cries out, Look, Kyle just finished the first run-through. On his very first attempt, his fist intent is already trailing visible echoes around him. He really is a once-in-a-million-years talent. But even with this kind of gift, reaching initial mastery will still take a decade. Kyle has really gone and walked the wrong road. Thalen asks heavily, Does anyone have anything left to suggest? This time no one has anything. They can only shake their heads. Then Dorgan speaks again. Kyle is starting his second run. Everyone looks back down, and Kyle does not stop. He looks completely absorbed. Several peak masters watch Kyle train with total focus, and their hearts sink completely. Inside the Taiyi Void Realm, the disciples look equally deflated. Watching someone repeat punching drills is far less exciting than watching Kyle break records. But now Kyle is locked in, completely consumed by the fist art, stubbornly cutting off his own bright future. Core disciples sigh and shake their heads, murmuring that this top 10 sequence rank holder just showed his lack of judgment. Only Holy Son Lysander is inwardly laughing. This Kyle already has a supreme heaven-grade technique and still isn't satisfied. Now he's trying to stack an upper heaven-grade martial skill on top? That kind of greed will keep his realm suppressed. He might just be a hot-headed rookie who genuinely commits 10 or 20 years to this fist art and ends up with no time left to break into the soul-forging realm. As long as Kyle keeps this up, the only winner in the end is still Lysander himself. He is still savoring that thought when Dorgan says something strange. Has anyone noticed that Kyle's fist power seems to be getting stronger? The moment those words land, teaching Peak Master Varen snaps to attention and stares, then gasps in disbelief. It's true! Kyle's power output is climbing way too fast. It's like every single repetition he does counts for 10,000 of anyone else's. How is that possible? The other elders follow his gaze, and they all see it too. The rate of growth in his fist power, I have lived over 4,000 years and never witnessed anything like it. Compared to his very first run, Kyle's execution now looks like an entirely different technique. This is not something that can happen in just a few hours. Does he have some kind of unbeatable talent for martial skill training too? What none of them know is that Kyle's explosive progress comes from the martial skill mastery token. After that first run through on his own natural ability, he got a clear sense of just how difficult this technique really is. So from the second round onward, he slipped smoothly into cheat mode, entering a strange and extraordinary state. It feels as though every bit of experience he gains is being amplified without limit. At this rate, initial mastery before sunset is guaranteed. Kyle holds that thought and launches into another full run. As time flows on, Kyle begins to look exactly like someone on the verge of a breakthrough. The disciples in the Taiyi Void Realm are completely stunned. A skill that would take others decades of grinding, Kyle is mastering it in hours. As his command of the fist art sharpens, the mountain silhouettes hidden within his fist intent grow more and more defined. By the end, they are fully visible. Every move, every stance carrying the crushing weight of a mountain. A powerful presence fills the air in every direction. Witnessing this, even teaching Peak Master Varen, who has spent half his life teaching cultivation, begins to question everything he knows. This completely defies every rule of cultivation. Lysander looks outright blank, rubbing his eyes over and over, desperately wishing this is all just an illusion, but the gasps from everyone around him make it undeniable. Every bit of it is real. Kyle is about to reach initial mastery of an upper heaven-grade martial skill in a single day. Down on the training grounds, as the final strike coalesces in Kyle's hands and 5 surging waves of fist intent erupt skyward, forming 5 phantom mountain peaks that loom overhead. After a few calm breaths, Kyle draws his fist back and stands still. The fierce wind around him holds without dispersing. Residual fist echoes swirl in the air. He breathes out slowly. The 5 sacred mountain fist is finally mine. He looks up and sees the sky has already darkened. From morning until now, exactly 4 hours. Kyle thinks to himself, the system never lies. One day exactly as promised. Just as Kyle is about to test the full power of the 5 sacred mountain fist, a wave of hunger crashes through his entire body. He winces. Training so hard for so long he almost forgot. It's been 2 days without food. From the moment he discovered the sect had vanished, he's been running on nothing but the pressure of an approaching apocalypse, pushed forward by the system every step. He slept a full day after leaving the scripture pavilion, then spent today mastering the 5 sacred mountain fist. 3 full days without a drop of food or water, and he is still standing, only because the body-tempering realm has hardened his body beyond a mortal's limits. He pushes everything else aside. Forget it, food first, then rest. From what he's read in the cultivation texts, Kyle knows that only cultivators above the Violet Palace realm can go without food entirely. At the body tempering, soul forging, and divine tempering stages, practitioners need large quantities of spirit grain, spirit water, and demon beast meat to sustain themselves. Kyle jumps onto his sky skiff and heads straight for Beast Peak. Rusty comes toddling after him, and Kyle scoops it up and tucks it into his chest, bringing it along to the Beast Peak dining hall. Beast Peak is widely considered the finest dining in the entire sect because of the massive number of demon beasts raised there. The gentle ones are tamed as mounts. The fierce ones serve as trial obstacles for disciples. As a result, a large number of demon beasts die at Beast Peak every day, and their flesh is prepared into high-quality meals. Because of this, Beast Peak's demon beast meat is the finest across all 12 peaks, occasionally even featuring the flesh of rare and powerful great demons. Kyle enters the high-grade formation cooking zone, where each dish costs at least 1,000 contribution points. 3 signature dishes made from spirit-severing level demon beasts meat each break 10,000. This spending level is accessible to only a few hundred out of the sect's 100,000 disciples. Back when Kyle was just a provisional outer disciple, he was limited to plain spirit grain porridge at the outer peak dining hall, maybe a few scraps of low-grade beast meat on a good day. But now the entire sect is gone, and there is no reason to hold back. If he's eating the best. With that thought firmly in mind, Kyle slaps his disciple token against the formation core steely and starts ordering without restraint. In no time at all, 130,000 contribution points are gone, and the formation activates immediately. Half an hour later, 16 dishes and a massive pot of spirit grain rice are laid out in front of him. Kyle digs in without a second's hesitation. With the Boundless Tao Archive's digestion technique active, every bit of essence from every piece of demon beast meat is fully absorbed. In an instant, Kyle feels his cultivation surge. While he is wolfing everything down, the disciples watching from above are getting hungry themselves. Someone shouts out loud, "I can't take it anymore. Does anyone have food? I'll trade 100 contribution points." Almost no one responds. When people entered the Tai Yi Void realm for enlightenment sessions in the past, it only lasted 1 day, so no one ever thought to bring food. Even those who happen to have something in their storage rings aren't foolish enough to pull it out and trade it away. When the lower-ranking elders of each peak realize what is happening, they report it immediately, and word reaches Thalon quickly. Only then does he remember that disciples still need to eat. Having long since stopped eating himself through cultivation, he had simply forgotten such things mattered. He speaks up. If anyone has spare food in their storage ring, share it with the disciples. Streaks of light shoot out from his own ring at the same time, materializing into various foods mid-air. Seeing this, the other elders all reach into their own rings for whatever reserves they have. Even though they no longer eat, thousands of years of accumulation means their rings are full of long-forgotten odds and ends, and food can still be found among them. Of everyone, Beast Peak Master Brahm contributes by far the most. What he alone pulls out, spirit grain and beast meat, exceeds everyone else's combined. Together, it's enough to feed the disciples for years. No one is surprised. Brahm's love of food is famous across the entire continent. He is the only one among his entire generation of sect brothers and sisters who never stopped eating. Soren eyes the floating spread above and shakes his head. Brahm, you never failed to deliver. Brahm grins warmly, his broad frame shaking a little. A good appetite is a blessing, and look, it's come in handy. Thalon nods in agreement. Without Brahm this time, all of our food combined would not have been enough for the disciples. Now at least we can rest easy. Even if we're trapped in here for 3 to 5 years, no one will go hungry. The moment he says it, the mood among several elders darkens. 3 days have passed, and the Supreme Elders still show no sign of movement. The way things look, something may have gone seriously wrong inside the Tai Yi Void realm. If they really are trapped for 3 to 5 years, the consequences are unthinkable. Thalon sighs inwardly. It seems there is no choice but to find every possible way to reach Kyle. If Kyle can find the backup secret jade, freeing them all becomes simple. His gaze drifts to Kyle below, who is nearly finished eating, but doesn't look entirely satisfied. He gets up and starts scanning the dining hall, as if searching for something else worth eating. Draven has temporarily stopped controlling the little Chung-Chi, letting it rest inside the front of Kyle's robe. Brahm peers down curiously. Why does Kyle have such an enormous appetite? 16 dishes and he still isn't full? Varan answers, it's likely because of his technique. The Boundless Tao Archive was forged from 37 upper heaven-grade arts. The more powerful the technique, the more energy cultivation burns. Brahm nods along. Exactly. Kyle hasn't eaten in 3 days. He also just spent a full day grinding the 5 sacred mountain fist. His body is severely depleted. He's probably digesting faster than he can eat. No wonder the appetite is extreme. But before he even finishes the sentence, his gaze follows Kyle's movement, and suddenly freezes. He shouts, no, he's heading toward my storage room. I have a premium cloud dream carp in there, not yet prepared. He cannot see it. Meanwhile, Kyle is hunting for something more to eat. In truth, he can already feel his cultivation brushing against the threshold of a second-layer body tempering breakthrough, but he's deliberately holding it back. That's because advancing in the body tempering realm requires the physical body and spiritual energy to reach a natural point of resonance first. Only after breaking through at that precise threshold will the body truly be strengthened. Before reaching that point, a cultivator should prioritize hammering the physical body harder, not rushing the breakthrough. By rough estimate, his single-arm strength has already surpassed 20,000 pounds. One more good meal and he'll hit the breakthrough threshold for certain. So what he needs now is 1 serving of truly high-grade demon beast meat. Then, using the Boundless Tao Archive's power to convert it into raw physical strength, he can push through to the second layer of body tempering. While Kyle is running through all of this in his head, a crisp, mechanical chime suddenly rings out in his mind. Ding! Player's strong craving for high-quality food has been detected. Bonus guided quest triggered. Complete 1 preparation and consumption of a visually stunning, aromatic, and delicious high-grade demon beast meat dish. Upon completion, receive a purple tier trait reward, full extraction. When consuming demon beast flesh, the digestion technique of the body tempering art gains a 3-fold enhancement. Kyle's eyebrow shoots up. A trait reward this time, and it sounds genuinely powerful. But the quest won't be easy. The main challenge is sourcing high-grade demon beast meat, because the grade of a demon beast is determined by bloodline, not combat strength. The higher the bloodline grade, the greater the innate potential, and the richer the essence concentrated in its flesh and bone. Everything he just ate, while above average, doesn't come close to what Kyle would consider truly high grade. These thoughts drift through my mind, and before I know it, I'm standing at the storehouse door of the welfare hall, pushing it open. Inside is a wide, well-lit room, every item arranged with meticulous order. Demon beast flesh and blood are sorted by elemental attribute, each kept under its own small formation array. My gaze sweeps the room, and quickly locks onto the very top of the storehouse. A huge pool of cold water floats suspended in midair, and inside it, a massive white fish glides through the depths. I immediately ask inwardly, System, does this fish qualify as a high-grade demon beast? The system replies instantly, yes, this is a cloud dream carp carrying 7th grade demon beast bloodline. At those words, a quiet excitement surges through me. Once a demon beast bloodline reaches the 9th grade, it earns the title of divine beast. This fish has already reached the 7th grade. This is no ordinary creature, and it may not even have come from Beast Peak's own stock. Back when I first joined the sect, I overheard people chatting in the dining hall about how Beast Peak's master is quite a character. The man is broad and heavyset, and his greatest passion in life is food. A Peak Master elder of his caliber, looked at across the entire Taiyi sect, is someone nobody dares to cross. But the situation now is anything but normal. Every member of the sect has vanished, so I have no reason to hold back. I reach straight for the fish. It's still alive, but some kind of special treatment has been applied, so I subdue it with ease. The moment my hands close around the cloud dream carp, Brahm lets out a wail of despair. My fish! If I'd known it would come to this, I would have eaten it myself. Hesitate and you lose, commit and you eat. Watching this unfold, Varen beside him can't hold back a laugh. Among 7th grade demon beasts, the cloud dream carp is considered a supreme delicacy. Its flesh is incredibly sweet and tender, and every inch of its meat is saturated with dense elemental energy. For any cultivator below the Nirvana realm, the benefit is enormous. Fate really has a sense of humor. Brahm poured everything into getting his hands on this cloud dream carp, and he hasn't even taken a single bite, yet here it is, falling straight into Kyle's lap. At the same time, the other Peak Masters press their foreheads in collective exasperation. Dorgan claps Brahm on the shoulder. Brahm, it's just a fish. Go catch another one. Brahm rounds on him, fuming. Easy for you to say. That fish is extinct across the entire central realm. The only one left in existence was kept by the Samsara fiend of the Sixth Path Brahma sect. To get my hands on that cub, I traded away a mountain of rare treasures, and then agreed to duel him for 3 days and 3 nights straight. I nearly worked myself to death on that mountain. You call that easy? The complaint lands hard. A wave of genuine sympathy ripples through the crowd, for the Samsara fiend of the Sixth Path Brahma sect is one of the most notorious demonic leaders in the Central Realm, infamous for preying on juniors, slaughtering cultivators and seizing their treasures. Even against cultivators of equal standing, he forces a fight and never lets anyone leave easily. Thalon looks at Brahm with concern. Brahm, don't put yourself at risk like that again. The Samsara fiend is dangerously unpredictable. If something had gone wrong during that duel, what then? Brahm's reply comes with a cool smirk. Thalon, you worry too much. That Samsara fiend, sure I can't beat him, but he can't touch me either. And as long as Uvail is still standing, the entire six-path Brahma sect is nothing but ants that can't even jump. Brahm glances toward Uvail with quiet pride. The legendary name of Taiyi's sword peak dominates the world for one reason. 500 years ago, Uvail faced a heavenly sovereign cultivator of equal realm and, in just over 100 exchanges, annihilated both his Tao and his soul. From that moment on, every major power in the central holy domain has bowed before Taiyi. Faced with Brahm's bold declaration, Uvail simply smiles, soft and unhurried. Then she points down toward the welfare hall. Brahm, your cloud dream carp looks like it's about to die. The color drains from Brahm's face. Down below, I'm hauling the fish nearly as tall as I am, straight into the dining hall kitchen. Since I have no idea how to operate a formation array, I'm left with no choice but to cook it myself. I drop the cloud dream carp on the ground. It thrashes wildly, so I drive a fist into it. The rage in those enormous eyes goes glassy and still. The system's requirement is to eat a high-grade demon beast meal that scores on looks, aroma, and taste. After a moment's thought, I settle on the dish. Grilled fish it is. I grab a cleaver and split the cloud dream carp straight down the middle, laying it flat. At that exact moment, the news that I'm planning to grill it sends Brahm into an absolute meltdown. This is an absolute crime against food. Cloud dream carp is tender, sweet, and delicate. Steaming is the only way to honor it, braising at the very worst. But grilling? The surrounding Peak Master elders jump in to calm him down. Easy, Brahm, the die is cast. That fish is destined for Kyl's stomach. How he chooses to eat it is his business. As long as the energy in that demon flesh can be absorbed and refined, what does it matter whether it's steamed or grilled? Brahm shakes his head through gritted teeth. Of course it matters. At its most primal, life is about eating. And how you eat is an art. Of all the 3,000 great Taos in this world, the Tao of gastronomy stands at the very top. You do not half-heartedly cook it. At those words, everyone suddenly remembers that when Brahm first chose his path, the great Tao he awakened to was the Tao of gastronomy. But the thing is, I'm not cooking for enlightenment. I'm cooking because I'm hungry, and because I need to absorb the essence inside for cultivation. There's no room for philosophy here. I cook it however I want. Just then, a core disciple speaks up, burning with curiosity. What is Kyle doing? Is that a marinade? I've never seen anything like it. The other elders all peer downward. They watch me drag out an enormous iron basin and start pouring in salt, rice wine, green onion, and ginger, then lay the scored fish into the mix. Soren turns to Brahm with a puzzled look. Brahm, is this really how you grill fish? Brahm furrows his brow. I have no idea. Is he removing the fishy smell? The other elders exchange glances, all sensing that Kyle's grilling method is like nothing they've ever seen. They've long since entered Chi fasting. Even back when they used to eat, there were always dedicated chefs handling everything. None of them knows the first thing about cooking. But from what they can recall, even the master chefs at the finest taverns never did anything like this before grilling. The reason is actually simple. In this world of cultivation, the only thing that truly matters is getting stronger. The powerful can fast for 1,000 years on Chi alone, which means their everyday life skills are nowhere near what they would be back on Earth. Grilling here basically means throwing food over a fire and sprinkling some seasoning on when it's done. Even a seasoned food lover like Brahm has no personal recipes to speak of, so when they see Kyle working the fish like this, everyone is immediately transfixed. And me, completely unaware that I've just captivated the mightiest figures in the sect, I head to the rear mountain storehouse and dig out a stack of premium charcoal. Once the marinated fish is about 80% done over the coals, load potatoes, cucumbers, and other vegetables into a flat-bottomed pan, then pour over a spice sauce I've been cooking down from layers of aromatics. After nearly half a day of work, the grilled fish is finally done, and the aroma hits like a wave. One look at the dish no one has ever seen before, and the entire sect loses its mind with hunger. A roar of noise erupts from inner and outer disciples alike. Kyle can cook like this? That fish looks absolutely incredible. Who knew a 7th grade cloud dream carp could be made like this? I can't take it. Does anyone have charcoal and fish in their storage ring? I will trade a mid-tier Earth grade technique for it. Even the sect's upper leadership, all deep in GI fasting, are fighting hard to suppress the hunger clawing at them. Brahm is this close to blasting a hole straight through the barrier wall, just so he can crawl out and eat with me. He lets out a long, mournful sigh. I was wrong. Steaming, braising, all of it pales in comparison. Grilling is the only answer. When it comes to the way of eating, Kyle is beyond me. The cruelest thing in this world is a perfect meal right in front of you, and all you can do is watch. None of the elders dare laugh, because every single one of them is just as hungry. The moment I pick up my chopsticks, the disciples dissolve into a fresh wave of anguished cries. The fasting elders and stewards force themselves to look away. Time passes, and the grilled fish gets eaten down to nothing. Then Varen lets out a sharp cry. Look! Kyle's spiritual energy is surging through his crown, radiant light pouring out of him. His refinement speed can't keep up with how fast he ate. Every elder snaps their gaze downward to see me engulfed in blazing red light, steam hissing off my skin, my entire body wrapped in a rising mist. They recognize the signs immediately. This is what happens when someone absorbs far more energy than their body can process. Brahm had originally planned to bring out this fish and host a feast for the Holy Sun and Holy Maiden. There was easily enough for 3 or 4 people, but now it has all gone to one person alone, and even with the boundless Tao archive, a supreme cultivation art, it's more than my body can handle. I feel it too. I force down the burning heat clawing through me and bolt down the last of the fish, then sprint toward the Beast Peak training grounds. According to the digestion tempering method in the boundless Tao archive, I need to start training immediately to convert all this energy into raw power. The moment I arrive, I throw myself into the 5 sacred mountain fist, hammering through rep after rep, then switch to stone shot puts and stone locks, pounding my body without mercy. A deep boom rings out from the training drum, and the power surging inside me locks into perfect resonance with my spiritual energy. An invisible wall shatters somewhere deep within, the heat radiating off my body vanishes completely, and the red light fades from my skin. I clench both fists. I've broken through! 1 meal of 7th grade demon beast flesh, and not only has my body been tempered to a new level, but my cultivation has advanced to the 2nd layer of body tempering. At the moment of breakthrough, a mysterious amplification effect washes through me. I steady myself, then grab a stone shot put weighing 30,000 jin, and find I can hoist it with one arm without effort. I keep adding weight, testing until I find my limit, 33,000 jin with a single arm. The system's notification rings through my mind. Congratulations, player. Tutorial quest complete. You have received a purple inscription talent reward Flesh Force now active. But I ignore it, lost in the rush of breaking through. My whole body shudders, every bone and tendon singing with relief. Then exhaustion hits me like a wave. I drop right there on the training ground. Before long, deep snoring echoes across the quiet peak. Meanwhile, witnessing that I've only reached the 2nd layer of body tempering, yet my one-arm strength already hits 33,000 jin. The peak master elders are stunned speechless. Varen can barely contain himself. Kyle has built an unbelievably solid foundation. If he continues hitting the key breakthrough layers of body tempering and triggers the doubling amplification all 3 times, there is no ceiling to what he could become. But amid the excitement, a problem surfaces. What path does Kyle take from here? Landing the Cloud Dream Carp was a lucky blunder, but going forward, he needs a proper body tempering method. And with no family background to rely on, and little exposure to the wider cultivation world, how would he even know what support methods exist? Left to figure it out on his own, he risks throwing away this incredible start. Thalon lets out a quiet sigh and turns to Draven at his side. We need to reach him as soon as possible. Draven replies with a pained look. I'm trying, but Rusty is a broken puppet. We just need to give it more time. Rusty, the scrap iron Cheongchi puppet, is their only hope of reaching Kyle. So while Kyle sleeps, Draven works quietly without pause, channeling his spiritual sense into Rusty over and over, trying to upgrade his control over the puppet. After a full night of deep sleep, every muscle and bone in my body has fully recovered. I'm at peak condition. I head to the dining hall for a simple meal, then make my way down to Galewind Ravine at the foot of Beast Peak. At the entrance of the ravine, I read the stone tablet. Galewind Ravine, demon beasts within do not exceed the body tempering realm in power. However, a number carry high-grade ancient bloodlines and are exceptionally dangerous. Most inhabit the rear half of the ravine. Enter only within your limits. This place was designated by the Sect specifically as a training ground for body tempering disciples. I walk straight in. Before I even have a chance to take in the scenery, the system's voice sounds in my ear. Ding! Player detected entering Galewind Ravine. Bonus tutorial quest triggered. Achieve 1 demon beast kill. Reward upon success. Gold inscription talent battle clarity. In continuous combat, your battle intelligence rises without limit. I raise an eyebrow. A gold inscription talent reward. That actually sounds exceptional. And fighting demon beasts for combat experience was already why I came here in the first place. 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm still savoring that thought when a massive jade-green serpent explodes out of the roadside brush without warning. I don't see it coming, but the instant it strikes, my body reacts on pure instinct, tilting and twisting clear. The massive green serpent slams into a boulder instead, a thunderous crack ringing out as the seemingly solid rock shatters into pieces. I drop into a fighting stance immediately, ready to unleash the fist art. Nice of you to show up. Take this! At that same moment, the atmosphere inside the Taiyi Void Realm ignites. Inner and outer disciples watch without blinking, and several sharp-eyed core disciples immediately identify the serpent, bursting out. Kyle really knows how to pick his opponents. Beast Peak has 3 hunting grounds suited for body-tempering disciples, and Galewind Ravine has the most savage beasts of all. That's right, that is an iron-tailed jade serpent, a 3rd-grade bloodline demon beast. Its striking power matches a full-force blow from a 5th-layer body-tempering cultivator. And it doesn't just hit hard, it's a master of concealment. I remember spotting it at the ravine entrance 9 years ago when I first joined the Sect. Can't believe it's still alive after all this time. 9 years in Galewind Ravine? That serpent is no joke. While hundreds of thousands of disciples are still debating, I drive my fist straight into that massive serpent skull. With my body at full output and a heaven-grade upper-tier fist art behind the blow, the force unleashed far exceeds my one-arm limit of 33,000 jin. The iron-tailed jade serpent doesn't even get to move. It's dead in an instant. The Taiyi void realm erupts. Countless disciples stare in disbelief. A demon beast with the combat power of a 5th-layer body-tempering cultivator on top of a 3rd-grade ancient bloodline just gone like that? Kyle is only at the 2nd layer of body tempering. That is insane. A once-in-a-million-years genius for real. But wait, why did the iron-tailed jade serpent just stand there and not move when Kyle attacked? Did you not see what fist art he was using? Can a demon beast really be scared stiff? Listen, have you actually been paying attention in the Elder's lectures? Once a high-grade martial art reaches a certain level of mastery, it generates a terrifying aura. That aura exerts overwhelming dominance over any creature weaker than the wielder. Exactly right. Kyle is training in our Sect's supreme martial art, the heaven-grade upper-tier 5 Sacred Mountain Fist. And he's already brought it to minor mastery, so when that fist came down, the force behind it is beyond what any of us can imagine. Varen nods with quiet approval. For a first real fight, that performance is genuinely impressive. High cultivation talent doesn't always translate to combat strength. Battle intelligence has to be built through real fights. Kyle dropping that serpent in one hit is the first step toward building the kind of unshakable confidence a legend needs. That said, his strikes are a bit too reckless, and he holds nothing back. But it's not a serious problem for now, we can shape that over time. He keeps that thought to himself and turns his gaze back down below. After the kill, the system's reward tone chimes in my mind. Congratulations, player. Tutorial quest complete. You have received a gold inscription talent, Battle Clarity. I don't feel any different though. This kind of talent sounds abstract, and I suspect it only shows its worth in actual combat. My first demon beast kill leaves me a little unsettled, but I shake it off quickly and push deeper into Galewind Ravine. The further I go, the more Battle Clarity starts to show its power. Fighting begins to feel natural, almost effortless. By the time I reach the midpoint of the ravine, I discover a wide river cutting the ravine into 2 halves. The strongest demon beasts I faced in the front half were only 3rd-grade bloodline, roughly equal to a 6th-layer body-tempering cultivator. I haven't crossed into the rear half yet, but I can already sense the threat level shifting beyond that river. That's exactly what I want. Whether it's pushing Battle Clarity to its limit or driving the Boundless Tao Archives techniques further, it all comes down to real combat. With that in mind, I jump into the river and cross straight into the rear half of Galewind Ravine. Watching me do it, disciples in the void realm above frown with unease. Is Kyle being reckless? Sure, he's training in a supreme art like the Boundless Tao Archive, but his body is still a mortal frame. How does he dare step into the rear half already? He probably doesn't understand how much the power gap widens with each bloodline grade. That makes sense. He just killed a 3rd-grade bloodline wolf that matched a 6th-layer body-tempering cultivator, and now his confidence has gone through the roof. He's probably thinking the rear half can't be that different. He's about to learn a painful lesson. Meanwhile, I'm walking straight down the main path and I can feel powerful presences lurking all around me, growing stronger with every step deeper. The excitement building inside me is almost intoxicating. I let my own aura flare out without hiding it at all, a clear provocation in any demon beast's eyes. Before long, a massive gray bear steps out from the tree line. Its fur is thick and long, and its claws glow with a fierce red light. A disciple up in the void realm calls it out immediately. That is a flame paw bear, a 4th-grade bloodline demon beast. Its defense is almost unbreakable, and those paws hit like a siege weapon. Looks like Kyle drew a bad hand on his first encounter in the rear half. He might not even make it to a second fight. The flame paw bear alone is enough to show him what Galewind Ravine's rear half is really made of. Once he feels that, he'll come to his senses and fall back. Everyone is still thinking this when shouts explode from the outer disciples section. The fight has started. The flame paw bear lunges at me first, and I slip out of its crushing overhead swipe without a second to spare. I call out to it with a grin. Hey little bear, fighting dirty already? The beast can't understand words, but it knows I'm not taking it seriously. It charges, massive paws sweeping hot blasts of pressure with every strike, but with Battle Clarity sharpening my read of every movement, I dodge every single attack using nothing but my upper body. The crowd watching is completely stunned. Varen, master of teaching peak, is visibly moved. That's not a movement technique. That is Kyle's battle instincts evolving in real time. Yuval nods in agreement. Exactly. Even in those earlier fights, I could see it. In combat, Kyle's ability to learn and observe is beyond anything I've witnessed. I have never seen anyone with battle talent that comes close to his. The moment those words land, disciples everywhere erupt, and the other elders break into unified congratulations. Congratulations, Thalan. Our sect has gained another Keelan prodigy. Kyle's future is beyond measure. It wouldn't be impossible for him to one day match the glory of Grandmaster Soren himself. Thalan is just about to reply with something worthy of the moment, when the disciples around him cry out again. Kyle's run into another demon beast. He looks down, and sure enough, another fight is already underway. After winning the first battle, I didn't leave. I walked straight into another one. This beast is even stronger than the Flamepaw Bear, but after a handful of exchanges, I cut it down. The elders nod in satisfied approval. When Kyle killed the Flamepaw Bear, he only threw one real strike. That was basically an instant kill. Of course he's pushing forward. This new beast put up more of a fight, but Kyle clearly had plenty left in reserve. He's going to keep going. He's moving again, just like we thought. Let's see, this time he's facing a 5th grade bloodline demon beast. This is getting serious. Is he actually in danger now? From the looks of it, Kyle will not stop until it's dead. 50 exchanges in, he's taken some hits, but the fight has shifted from disadvantage to upper hand. That battle talent is terrifying. It's over. 80 rounds and the 5th grade bloodline beast is dead. 5 sacred mountain fist and only minor mastery already hits this hard. That is why it's our sect's #1 martial art. Kyle has to head back and rest now, right? Wait, what? Why is he still moving forward? He's already in 5 grade bloodline territory. This is too dangerous. If 2 beasts corner him at once, it could cost him his life. Curse it all, we're stuck up here panicking and he can't hear a single word we say. Meanwhile, my clothes are soaked with blood, but my energy is still running high because most of that blood belongs to the demon beasts. The fact that I, a mortal frame, can keep this up comes entirely from the combat tempering method in the Boundless Tao archive. This method lets me build combat experience and physical strength simultaneously through fighting, and combined with battle clarity, the effect is doubled. After all this relentless combat, my vitality and physical strength have surged dramatically. I haven't run the numbers yet, but I can feel the difference is massive, because every beast I've hunted has been a high-grade target. My techniques are growing sharper with every fight, and that's exactly why I keep getting stronger the more I fight. The people inside the Taiyi Void Realm have no idea what's driving this, and they're simply overwhelmed. Why is Kyle so relentless? He's carved a path from the ravine entrance all the way into the deep rear half. That is terrifying. Even Grandmaster Soren in his prime couldn't have done much more, could he? If anything, Kyle might already be surpassing that, because Grandmaster Soren had the peerless dominant body, which was naturally built for body tempering and close combat. Kyle is a plain mortal frame. Exactly, matching a dominant body physique with a mortal frame is simply unthinkable. Only Lysander the Holy Sun says nothing, a defeat he can't hide pressing heavy on his chest. The elders around him buzz with excitement, but Brahm alone wears a grim expression, eyes fixed on the figure drawing closer and closer to the ravine's deepest point. He opens his mouth, then stops. Thalen notices. He turns to Brahm with a look of concern. Brahm, what's wrong? Brahm looks like a man confessing a crime. Thalen, there's something I'm not sure I should say. Thalen is still riding the high of the moment and waves it off warmly. We've been brothers for thousands of years. Say whatever's on your mind. You think I'd hold it against you? The other elders laugh along. Brahm, today the sect has gained another supreme genius. It's a day worth celebrating. Whatever mess you've made, the sect will cover for you. Watching so many elders vouch for him, Brahm is genuinely touched. He stops holding back. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just that our Taiyi sect's supreme genius might be about to die. The moment the words leave his mouth, every laugh in the room dies at once. Thalen's expression hardens. Brahm, what kind of nonsense is that? How dare you curse a junior like that? Brahm waves his hands frantically. Thalen, you know I'd never do that. The reason I'm saying this is because I have, in the central area of Galewind Ravine's rear half, been keeping an ancient spotted king. At those words, Thalen stares at him in complete disbelief. What? You've been keeping an ancient spotted king and I didn't know about it? Brahm forces out a sheepish smile. I came across it during my last trip to the Nanzhou Wastes, seized it from a great demon gathering in the Endless Mountains. The plan was to tame it in secret and give the sect a surprise, but things didn't go as planned. His voice gets quieter with every word. Who would have guessed that this pudgy, harmless-looking man had been quietly keeping an ancient bloodline creature inside the sect this whole time? Varen can't decide which way to be angry. Brahm, something this major and you didn't tell anyone? The ancient spotted king is an 8th grade bloodline demon beast. One step away from being a divine beast. A fully grown ancient spotted king can cultivate to a level equal to a human saint king. You kept a creature like that inside Galewind Ravine and you thought that was fine? Yuvale frowns. Brahm, what exactly is this ancient spotted king's current level of strength? Brahm cups his hands quickly. It's still a cub. But even as a cub, a single swipe carries 1,000,000 jin of force, and every ancient bloodline creature is born with an innate divine ability. My best estimate is that a human cultivator trying to defeat it would need to be at the peak of the soul forging realm, using earth grade or higher divine abilities to whittle it down from a distance over several days. As for close combat, honestly, going toe-to-toe with an ancient bloodline creature is pure recklessness. I can't think of anyone who would attempt it. If we had to assume someone did, they'd need divine weapons and talisman seals prepared in advance, and a baseline cultivation of at least the god-severing stage, just to have a fighting chance. Those words land like a stone, and every elder's heart sinks. This beast is completely out of Kyle's league. The news spreads instantly through nearby core disciples and ripples across the entire Taiyi sect. For a moment, everyone goes still. Elder Brahm actually kept an ancient spotted king on Beast Peak? I thought the ancient spotted king had gone extinct, and it's right near where Kyle is? He's in serious danger. Kyle, please don't go any further. Meanwhile, the very person everyone is panicking about pauses for a brief rest and then turns his head toward the deepest part of the ravine. I think I catch a low, distant growl. It's faint, but it sends a jolt through my chest. I pull my aura inward and move carefully along the narrow path. Half an hour later, I leap up into a giant tree and scan the distance. At the end of the ravine, I spot a massive tiger-type demon beast. It's crouched over a carcass, tearing into it, and as if it senses me, it raises its head and fixes me with a long, steady stare. A chill runs through me. Its spiritual sense is that sharp, and the aura rolling off it is savage beyond anything I can currently handle. While I'm still watching it, the system's alert suddenly thunders through my mind. Player detected an encounter with 8th grade demon beast, ancient spotted king. Main quest triggered, trial of the strong. Player must kill or subdue the target within 50 days. Success rewards 3 reward spins, which may yield inscription talents, divine weapons, techniques, or divine abilities. I blink. The system never runs out of tricks. 50 days isn't exactly a lot, but it's not an impossible window either. Right now my strength doesn't come close to this beast. I'll need to reach the peak of body tempering before I stand any chance. From that day on, to push myself forward, I spend every day deep inside Galewind Ravine, driving the combat tempering method as far as it will go. Every corner of the ravine except the ancient spotted king's territory gets swept clean. Watching me work with such discipline and precision, the other elders finally breathe easy, all agreeing that Kael truly is a heaven-blessed talent. Before long, it's the 3rd day since I entered the ravine. I'm throwing punches on the training ground when a powerful amplification effect crashes through me, and I know instantly. 3rd layer of body tempering, broken through. I grab stone shot puts off the ground and keep stacking the weight, testing my limits until I have a final answer. 108,000 Jin with a single arm. The joy that hits me is immediate. With this kind of strength, if I ever cross back to the modern world, I'd basically be a superhero. While I'm still savoring that thought, I hear a scraping sound at my feet. It's Rusty, the scrap iron Xiongqi puppet, skimming low across the ground with a book scroll clamped between all 4 paws. I reach down and pull the book from underneath it. I flip through it quickly. It turns out to be a handbook on body tempering cultivation. Inside, it explains that when a cultivator hits certain key layers of body tempering, the body undergoes a doubling amplification in physical strength. This realm is not about rushing. What matters is that before every layer breakthrough, the body must be pushed to its absolute limit to build a proper foundation. For ordinary cultivators, doing their best is enough. But for a supreme genius, all 3 doubling opportunities must be seized at full force. I read the numbers aloud in disbelief. 3rd layer of body tempering, arm strength surpassing 80,000 Jin. 6th layer surpassing 400,000 Jin. 9th layer surpassing 1.6 million Jin. This is what it means to build a supreme foundation. Right then, I make a silent vow. I will build a supreme foundation and I will step into the heavenly sovereign realm in the most flawless way possible. But right now, I'm hitting a wall. Both the combat tempering method and the digestion tempering method are losing their edge, and the welfare hall storehouse is running low on high-grade demon beast flesh. I urgently need another method to push my body to its absolute limit. Just as I'm wrestling with this, I notice that the back pages of the handbook list several other body tempering methods, including the herbal bath vein warming method. I read through every word, and my excitement surges. I scoop Rusty up off the ground. Rusty, you actually have real instincts in there, don't you? You knew what I needed. Alright then, let's head to Herb Peak and see if there's a proper herbal bath vein warming method there. I fire up the skyship and head straight for Herb Peak. Watching this, the elders all exhale with relief. Baron looks like he might actually tear up. After all this time, Kael has finally figured it out. Now that he knows these methods exist, he's clearly going after the legendary Supreme Foundation. Sora nods along. Wonder if he's looking for the herbal bath vein warming method specifically, or the pill nourishment method. Dorgan answers with a grin. Doesn't matter which. Aldrich is the undisputed master of both. Aldrich, master of Herb Peak, hears the praise from his fellow elders and can't help but smile with quiet pride. Aldrich's pill refinement skill is unmatched across the entire world. On top of that, his mastery of medicinal herbs and spirit plants has led him to develop and refine many body tempering methods. Both the Holy Sun and Holy Maiden used his guidance during their own body tempering, and though neither of them achieved a supreme foundation, they both reached an elite level. Meanwhile, I'm steering the skyship when the system chimes again. Ding. Player detected breaking through to the 3rd layer of body tempering. Time check and quest triggered. Reach the herb garden of Herb Peak to receive a gold inscription talent reward, Herb Intuition, granting a deep and instinctive attunement to the medicinal properties of plants and herbs. Significantly increases comprehension in this field. I raise an eyebrow. This system has surprisingly good timing. Triggering a quest right now and making it a simple check-in at that. Is it worried I won't be able to understand the cultivation text on Herb Peak? I'm still turning that over in my mind when the skyship arrives. I move quickly toward the herb garden, ready to get started on the herbal bath vein warming method. The moment I reach the garden entrance, the system chimes right on time. Ding. Time check in quest complete. Reward delivered. With that tone, I know the talent has activated. Now I just need to find a herbal bath formula and put it to the test. Just then, Rusty leaps out of my arms and rolls off in a lopsided wobble towards somewhere only it seems to know. I follow. It leads me to a great hall on Herb Peak, every surface buried under mountains of medical texts. Rusty digs through the chaotic mess and locates exactly the one table set aside for herbal bath formulas. I give it a double thumbs up. Rusty, you never failed to impress. You really are a top-tier beast. You know this place like the back of your paw. I pick up the first few formula sheets and start reading carefully. What I find is immediately striking. Even though I've never studied herbs in my life, something inside me just knows. I can feel the strength or weakness of each formula before I've even finished reading it. I frown and mutter to myself, this one is completely bottom tier. This one is just average. Who even wrote these? Calling this a herbal bath formula is insulting. This one has some merit, but only just barely. None of these come anywhere near what I need. What I don't know is that Aldrich, watching from above, is absolutely floored. Excuse me, what does this kid think he's doing? He's questioning the formulas of a scholar with over 3,000 years of experience? The other elders rush to calm him down. Easy, Aldrich. Why lower yourself to argue with a junior? Kyle has no foundation in herbalism. It makes perfect sense that he can't appreciate the depth of what you've written. Aldrich lets the words slowly cool his temper. He looks down with a scowl. Fine, not understanding I can accept. But he should not be running his mouth like this, pointing out my supposed shortcomings. What does he know about herbs and spirit plants? He calls my formulas bottom tier and says they don't meet his standards? The elders keep nodding along, careful not to set Aldrich off again. Then Dorgan, master of artisan Peak, quietly asks, but are the formulas actually bottom tier? Every head in the room snaps toward him in disbelief. Soren sighs and shakes his head, privately thinking these forge hammer types have no sense of the room. Aldrich's face flushes red. Dorgan, my formulas are not going to match the ones passed down by the Tai Dao ancestor. But the world has changed. Many of the spirit herbs from those ancient times have gone extinct. The old formulas simply can't be replicated anymore. These sheets I've written may seem casual, and no, they don't reach the absolute peak, but calling each one a solid and effective formula is entirely fair. That answer says everything. These herbal bath formulas aren't bad, but matching them to a talent who reached the 9th floor of the scripture pavilion is, genuinely, an insult. Thalan glances at Aldrich, who is still simmering, and steps in. Enough. Since Kyle didn't mean any disrespect, we put this aside. What matters now is making sure he finds the right formula. Aldrich, Draven, work together on this. With Thalan speaking, Aldrich lets it go, and steps up beside Draven, pointing the way to where the truly top-tier formulas are kept. Draven immediately pushes his control over Rusty, sending the puppet circling around me. But at this moment, I'm setting the formula sheets back on the table, thinking to myself, this doesn't add up. The Tai Sect has existed for tens of millions of years. How can the herbal bath formulas be this limited? Either when the sect evacuated, the herb garden elder took the most valuable ones with them, or I simply haven't found where the real ones are stored. Just then, I feel a small movement at my feet. Rusty is pawing circles around my leg, and then it clicks. I tell it to lead the way, and sure enough, it heads off down a side passage inside the hall. I follow it to a small quiet room, where it stops at the corner of a cabinet drawer. I pull the drawer open, and there it is. A single formula sheet. My heart leaps. I pick it up and read every word carefully. 9-turn golden dragon bath. Primary ingredients, 1,000-year-old sunbird vine root, 9 drops of cold moon jade marrow. Supporting ingredients, 1 liang of freshly cut azure dragon heartwood, 7 qian of rainfall flowing gold sand. After reading every line, I narrow my eyes. This formula far outstrips anything I've seen so far, but the physical amplification it provides still won't build a supreme foundation, and the time it requires is far too long. It won't prepare me for the heavenly tribulation 3 years from now. I pace the room, turning the problem over. A few breaths later, a bold idea forms in my mind. If none of the formulas here can do what I need, then why not write one myself? I know nothing about herb theory, but I have herb intuition. That's exactly what it's for. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. I throw my head back and shout, then I'll create the one formula in this world that can actually build a supreme foundation. I tuck the 9-turn golden dragon bath formula back into the drawer and head straight for the herb garden. Up above, the elders can barely believe what they just heard. He's ignoring a perfectly good formula to write his own from scratch. Aldrich hears it and nearly loses consciousness. Calling my casual work bottom tier, I could live with that. But calling the greatest work of my life, 1,000 years in the making, not good enough? That I cannot accept. Even Thalan can't defend me this time. He too thinks I've crossed a line. Varen of Teaching Peak lets out a quiet sigh. A supreme genius should carry an unbeatable spirit, but not blind arrogance. Faking expertise in a field you don't understand only leads to your own ruin. If you ask me, Kyle's cultivation isn't what needs the most work right now. It's his character. Others murmur in agreement. Kyle's really gone too far today. Sure, his talent is unmatched in the sect, but when it comes to understanding herbs, what does he actually know? And more to the point, the person he's criticizing isn't some average elder. He's challenging Aldrich, the master of the herb garden himself. Aldrich's knowledge of herbs is the finest in the entire world. Who else even comes close? The 9-turn golden dragon bath is the most effective body-tempering herbal bath formula I have ever seen. And Kyle thinks he can just write something better? That's pure delusion. Those words do ease some of Aldrich's frustration, but his expression stays stony as he glares down at me. Looks down at my formula, does he? I'm already regretting sharing it in the first place. Fine, if you're so capable, don't use it. The elders exchange a quick look, and Dorgan puts a hand on Aldrich's shoulder. Aldrich, Kyle is a bit out of line, sure, but young people have no perspective. Making a fool of themselves is part of growing up. Why waste your energy on him? Just steer him back toward the 9-turn golden dragon bath and get him into that herbal soak. Aldrich exhales heavily. Same speech every time. Fine, fine, I'll let it go this once. He turns toward Draven, ready to try guiding the puppet again, when he sees me sitting deep in the book piles of the herb garden hall, happily absorbed in the herb compendium. Aldrich stares, speechless. You're actually studying? That herb compendium was written by him, though in such a chaotic and disorganized way that he never showed it to anyone outside. But now, watching me read with total focus, eyes lighting up with sudden realizations, barely able to contain my excitement page after page. Just moments ago he was furious at me for talking out of turn, but watching me pore over his own work with this much sincerity, he finds he just can't stay angry anymore. Thalen drifts over with a warm chuckle. Aldrich, looks like Kyle gets you after all, but herbalism is a vast and deep field. Even you spent over 1,000 years mastering it. What good can reading do for Kyle right now? Is he really serious about writing a formula that surpasses yours? Even as he says it, a quiet doubt stirs in his mind. Kyle should be able to see how impossible this is, especially after reading the herb compendium. It should make the difficulty more apparent, not less. So why is he still in there? The Sect's disciples are buzzing among themselves. I thought Kyle was just talking big, figured he had some genius trick up his sleeve. Turns out he's literally just starting from scratch right now. But look how fast he's reading. He's not actually going to write his own body-tempering formula, is he? How is that even possible? Top-tier vein-warming formulas are the most closely guarded secrets of the major sects. They take generations of effort to produce. If Kyle actually writes something better than what Aldrich has, I'll eat every floor tile in the Holy Maiden's Hall. 3 days pass in a blink, and I'm still going at the same pace, flipping through book after book, making repeated trips into the herb garden, carefully cross-referencing each specimen until the onlookers start doubting their own judgment. This keeps going into the 4th day. Finally, I close the last book, shut my eyes for a long moment of stillness, then pick up a brush and begin writing on a blank sheet. Every elder in the Taiyi Void realm watches without blinking, none more intently than Aldrich, who locks his eyes onto my hand the instant the brush touches the paper. When I finish writing, he reads it aloud. Primary, 3 Sunfire Pearl fruits, 9 drops of Dark Void True Water. Supporting, 1 stalk of Earth Vein Purple Mushroom, 2 Liang of Azure Dragon Heartwood Shavings, 5 Qian of White Tiger Sharp Metal Sand. Catalyst, 1 Golden Wing Silkworm Molt. His voice drops lower with every line. The other elders all turn to him, and Aldrich's face is stone cold. Absurd. This is not a formula. This is poison. Sunfire Pearl Fruit and Dark Void True Water cannot be combined in the same batch. It will trigger a violent spiritual energy surge and shred every meridian in the body. Golden Wing Silkworm Molt is a lethal toxin on its own. White Tiger Sharp Metal Sand may open the channels, but used with Azure Dragon Heartwood Shavings, metal suppresses wood and the liver meridian takes catastrophic damage. If anyone actually soaked in this formula, no one would survive it. In all these days they've been trying to get through to Kyle using the puppet, but nothing has worked. He has been completely absorbed in studying herbs. Watching this unfold, the elders have been powerless to intervene. Their plan was to wait until Kyle hit enough dead ends on his own, gave up, and came back to use Aldrich's formula. But instead, he didn't create a body-tempering formula. He created a top-tier poison bath, and if he's left to follow through, soaking in this formula would kill him outright. Aldrich is furious, yes, but he is not willing to watch a perfectly promising life end right in front of him because of a bad formula. Thalan cuts in with a sharp order. This cannot happen. Draven, stop Kyle by any means necessary. Draven responds immediately. I'll do everything I can. After all his time working with the puppet, Draven's control has grown noticeably more precise. He activates the puppet technique, and inside the hall on Herb Peak, Rusty looks up at me and rams itself into my shin. I glance down at it, barely distracted. Good, Rusty. Go play somewhere else. I tuck the formula under my arm and walk out the door. The elders see this and turn to Draven with hard, silent stares. The pressure lands on him like a weight. Draven grits his teeth and pushes harder, pouring his spiritual sense into the puppet. Rusty lurches into the air in a crooked, wobbling flight, hovering close around me and doing everything it can to get my attention. But my mind is locked on the formula. I don't notice a thing. The Sunfire Pearl Fruit ranks higher than Dark Void True Water in terms of raw ingredient potency, so I can't go for a sample that's too old, or it will completely overpower the water element, throwing the primary attributes out of balance. A 1,000-year sample is enough. The problem is that most of the Sunfire Pearl Fruit in this garden is 10,000 or even 100,000 years old. My margin for error here is razor thin. I keep walking and thinking, and before long I arrive at the Sunfire Fruit Tree. I glance back and see Rusty still tailing me, shaking its head back and forth. A quiet feeling settles over me. The way this creature knows every corner of this garden, it must have been close to Aldrich. Now the entire sect is gone, and Rusty was the one left behind. And here it still is, faithfully guarding what the sect left behind, worried some disciple is about to walk off with the garden's fruit and get into trouble with an elder. That's oddly moving. I reach down and pat its head with a smile. Taking without asking is theft. I know that, Rusty. But here's the thing. Right now the entire sect is down to the 2 of us. This tree has no owner. As the sole remaining disciple of the Taiyi sect, using it for myself isn't theft. At those words, Rusty goes still, The elders inside the Taiyi void realm fall into a strange, loaded silence. They hadn't expected that rather than questioning his own formula, Kyle would assume the puppet was blocking him from picking fruit without permission. After only 3 days of studying herbs, he's confident enough to soak in a formula he wrote himself. The sheer self-belief is staggering. All they can do is watch helplessly as I reach up and pluck sunfire pearl fruits off the tree, deliberately choosing the ones that clearly aren't ripe yet. Even the regular disciples are rendered speechless. An inner disciple groans. Even I can tell those fruits are substandard. And he's still picking them? 3 days of study and he doesn't know how to check the age of a spirit plant? Others quickly agree, their expressions a mix of disbelief and confusion. Kyle had them convinced with his intense reading that he knew what he was doing. But picking deliberately unripe sunfire pearl fruit makes it clear he doesn't really know herbs. The ripeness of this kind of spirit fruit is readable from its appearance and the aura it radiates. Any ordinary disciple could tell. The comments keep coming. If writing a herbal bath formula was this easy, I could write one too. Seriously though, why does he keep refusing Aldrich's formula? What is he even going for? Probably thinks his talent is so extraordinary that he's gotten a big head. Other people spend 1,000 years just to make progress in herbalism. He tries to match that in 3 days of self-study. What is going on in his head? At this rate, it's no wonder he's going to get himself killed. He has such incredible cultivation talent and yet he's so reckless with something like this. If he actually kills himself in that bath, he'll have set a whole new record for how a supreme genius can go out. Exactly, everyone else uses herbal baths to strengthen their bodies, and Kyle uses one to dissolve his. The elders can't stop him, and all anyone can say is, you only get yourself killed if you ask for it. Look, Kyle's almost done collecting everything on the formula list. Is he seriously about to get in? The elders are tight-faced, watching as I drag out the great cauldron and start adding the herbs and ingredients from my formula. Rusty stays at my side the whole time, throwing out warnings in every way it knows how, but I am completely lost in my own world. This is enough to make anyone lose their mind. Phelan draws a long, slow breath. So be it. Life and death are fate. He closes his eyes and refuses to look anymore. Among everyone watching, only Lysander, the Holy Sun, is burning with excitement. His heart is pounding. Since this prodigy appeared, every reckless stunt has somehow ended in survival, and every close call has shaken Lysander's own confidence a little more. But now this guy is about to climb into a poison bath. There is no way you're walking away from this one. He clings to that thought, already imagining himself reclaiming his position at the top of the Sect's disciples. He fixes his eyes on the scene below, waiting for the moment the catalyst dissolves and the elemental balance collapses. This chance won't come twice. Meanwhile, I settle into stillness, centering myself inside the cauldron. The discomfort fades. My meridians, my bones, and every channel in my body begin to transform. At that same moment, watching me soak in the herbal bath completely unharmed, disciples and elders alike go rigid with shock. Dorgan spins toward Aldrich. Kyle's not dead. Aldrich, you had us all convinced this was a death sentence. Aldrich stares downward, unable to believe what he's seeing. His mind races through every possibility, and then it hits him. He smacks his own forehead. I've got it. It's the void form root. Others still look completely lost, so he bursts out to explain. That is the last void form root in the entire sect, planted by the 105th keeper of the herb garden. 2 million years have passed since then. Kyle uses this ancient void form root as the catalyst, then carefully calibrates every other spirit herb, the age of each ingredient, the exact amount, until a delicate balance takes shape. The clashing energies within the formula no longer fight each other. Instead, they flow together in perfect harmony. This is brilliant. He grows more excited with every word, practically bouncing off the walls by the end. The elders start to understand. Kyle has found the one and only path to balance inside a formula where every ingredient should be tearing itself apart. It defies all reason. 3 days. He needed just 3 days to create a top-tier body tempering formula on his own. And right at that moment, Aldrich spots something that does not add up. Wait, something's off. I can see spirit energy gathering above his head like mist, heat radiating off his entire body, and there's a strange energy flowing through him, something that doesn't belong to any of the ingredients in this formula. What is going on? He stares down, studying intently. Then a voice cuts through the air. It is the primordial violet chi. Aldrich snaps his head up instinctively, and immediately bows deep when he sees who it is. It is Elder Lazarin, the Supreme Elder. This time, Lazarin arrives without a single trace of overwhelming pressure. Instead, he quietly answers Aldrich's question. Kyle has added one more key ingredient to this bath that none of you saw, a strand of primordial violet chi, drawn in by the rising sun at dawn. The moment those words land, everyone freezes. Aldrich stares at him, eyes wide with disbelief. Can primordial violet chi actually be drawn in by a person? Lazarin nods. Saint King can steal the root source of heaven and earth for himself. One gesture is all it takes. But Kyle has done it too, likely because of the void form root. That root can draw a thread of primordial violet chi into the formula. But to pull it off successfully, there must be hidden conditions, the exact timing, the precise order of adding each ingredient. Even I cannot figure out what they are. I will just have to ask Kyle in person someday. At those words, the elders fall silent. A technique only a Saint King should be able to use, and he pulls it off at body tempering. 3rd layer. The news shatters everything they thought they knew. Aldrich is shaken to his core. Kale is a newcomer who taught himself herb knowledge for 3 days, and yet he possesses talent that shocks the world. Then Aldrich remembers, just 3 days ago, he called this very formula a deadly poison. The thought makes his face flush red. A crushing sense of helplessness washes over him. I have devoted 1,000 years to this craft, and I still can't match what he learned in 3 days. Thalon gives him a pat on the shoulder. There is no need to be so hard on yourself, Aldrich. As I've always said, extraordinary people do extraordinary things. Kyle is a once-in-a-million-years prodigy for our sect. He is the first person in this world to break past the limits of a mortal body. Nothing he does should surprise anyone. Those words ease the weight in Aldrich's chest considerably. Then he quietly thinks to himself, funny though, when Kyle first wrote out that formula, you didn't believe in him either, did you, Thalon? And now here you are, dropping your hindsight wisdom. Still, Kyle really is something else. Once the herbal bath vein warming method is done, shouldn't the next step be the pill nourishment method? Pills and herbs take different roads but share the same roots. If this kid shows this much talent with herbs, then maybe he's just as gifted with pill making too. When that time comes, I absolutely cannot underestimate him. If Kyle really does try pill making, whether he teaches himself in 3 days or invents his own formula, all I need to do is look completely confident that he'll succeed. And when Kyle successfully refines a supreme grade pill, every single person in the sect will praise my sharp eye for talent. At that thought, Aldrich can't help letting out a sneaky little laugh. Brahm, standing right beside him, gives him a puzzled look. Aldrich, why is that grin so shifty? Aldrich waves him off. Nothing, just thought of something funny. No one else notices their exchange. Everyone's attention is locked on what's happening below. Elder Lazarin, having explained everything, vanishes on the spot, back into the depths of the Tai Void Realm, working on the problem of the sealed exit. With the Supreme Elder gone, the disciples feel the pressure lift, and voices immediately erupt all around. No way, he used the root source of heaven and earth as a main ingredient. Kyle is insane. Even Aldrich couldn't figure it out, and he led all of us in the wrong direction. Has Kyle ever even studied herbs before? There's no way. If he had, what books was he reading? That means Kyle reached this level in just 3 days. I thought he was just putting on a show, turns out he was dead serious. This is terrifying. He must be a god walking among mortals, the herb ancestor reborn. The move of infusing primordial violet chi into the bath also explains everything that looked like nonsense before. At the same time, a new question rises. This top-tier formula, using primordial violet chi alongside the void form root as the catalyst, just how powerful is it? Not only the disciples, but the elders and stewards are all talking. With the root source of heaven and earth as an ingredient, the effect cannot be measured by normal standards. My guess is the boost could reach around 100%. That's literally double. That's impossible. During the body tempering stage, only the key breakthrough layers can double your power. Throughout all of history, no one has ever doubled their physical strength at a minor layer using external methods. 90% is more like it. Boosting your strength by 90% through a herbal bath is already one of a kind in the entire world. News of this alone would drive every major power into a frenzy. A frenzy for what? The catalyst in this formula is the void form root, a spirit herb that no longer exists anywhere. This bath is the last one that will ever exist in this world. Still, with Kyle's talent, if he wanted to, writing another formula at this level probably wouldn't be hard. After going back and forth, they settle on a conclusion. Kyle's bath should yield a 90% boost. In their minds, that is already an incredibly high expectation. When Kyle first entered the body tempering stage, his arm strength was 18,000 jin. After breaking through, it climbed to 33,000 jin. Even after brutal training in Galewind Ravine, it maxed out at 54,000 jin, and only the special effect of the third layer doubled it. 90% is the absolute ceiling for physical growth at a minor layer in the body tempering stage. A full 100% has never been achieved in all of history. Kyle's first 2 breakthroughs were no exception, so naturally, everyone assumes the third won't be either. Meanwhile, I am still submerged in the bath, eyes closed, deep in cultivation. The boiling liquid drives the medicinal energy into every part of my body. I break open my hidden meridians, and the primordial violet chi converts into a surge of power that strengthens my meridians. By the 7th day, the pitch-black bath has gone completely clear. I can feel a breakthrough coming. I slowly open my eyes, take a few steady breaths, and leap out of the cauldron. I head straight to the training ground on Herb Peak, ready to see what I'm capable of now. Up in the Tai Void Realm, the moment the disciples catch a glimpse of me stepping out of that bath, the comments go completely wild. Come on, Kyle. Why bother wearing anything in an empty sect? But honestly, Kyle's body is just unfairly perfect. Those muscles, so full and sharply defined. Honestly, a feast for the eyes. The elders, meanwhile, are waiting to see raw power. My eyes lock onto a specially forged iron cauldron I have never attempted before. I lift it with both arms, then shift to one arm and find I still have strength to spare. This cauldron is forged from black sand, dark iron, weighing 230,000 jin. Every single person in the Tai Void Realm is stunned. Dorgan counts on his fingers. Kyle's single arm strength before was 108,000 jin. Now, after breaking through to body tempering, 4th layer, he can lift a cauldron weighing 230,000 jin. Doesn't that mean the formula boosted his physical strength by a full 120%? At that number, Thalon nods with pure delight. Outstanding. Outstanding, outstanding. Kael has truly earned the title of Keelan Prodigy. 120%. At the 4th layer of body tempering, he already commands 230,000 jin of raw power. With a foundation this deep, his future is limitless. Inner and outer disciples alike erupt in shock. While the Taiyi Void Realm is still buzzing, I have already returned to the main hall of Herb Peak, taken a bath, and found a brand new core disciple robe in the storage room. I change, straighten my clothes, clasp my hands behind my back, and turn my mind to business. The herbal bath vein warming method worked brilliantly, but there was only one void form root, 2 million years old. That formula can never be made again. But primordial violet chi still lingers inside me, and it will keep strengthening my meridians as I train. The herb garden still holds plenty of spirit herbs, so I plan to use herb intuition to identify the celestial treasures in the garden, then pair them with high-grade demon beast meat from Beast Peak's feast hall to cook up meals, using the power of meat mastery to push my blood chi growth. That way, I can sail smoothly through the 4th layer of body tempering. With my training plan locked in, my eyes drift to the brush and ink sitting on the table, and something stirs inside me. I pick up the brush and write out the full formula. I name it the Primordial Tao Infusion Bath, then place it carefully inside a jade box and set it on the most visible spot on the bookshelf. Done. I pick a few quality spirit herbs from the garden and head straight for Beast Peak's feast hall. When everyone sees that Kael has left the formula behind at Herb Peak, the admiration hits like a wave. Praise pours in from every direction. Kael's character is everything a successor of our sect should be. We all misjudged him. Exactly. When we saw him quietly loading contribution points into his sect token, we thought he had bad character. But looking back now, it was all just making the most of what's there. The Primordial Tao Infusion Bath, what an arrogant name. But the effect lives up to every bit of it. From now on, the greatest vein warming method in the world belongs to the Taiyi sect. The elders look down at Kael with warm, satisfied smiles. Aldrich, after reading through the formula, pulls himself back together, because Kael specifically noted in the formula that it originated from Herb Peak's herb garden. That means Kael has a real connection to Herb Peak. One day when the world learns that the Primordial Tao Infusion Bath came from Herb Peak, the entire world will be shaken, and as Herb Peak's master, he naturally rides that wave of glory. The more Aldrich thinks about it, the happier he gets. Kael is thoughtful. The fame of the world's greatest formula is going to land right on the head of our Herb Peak. While the elders are still celebrating, Dorgan suddenly speaks up with a puzzled look. But how is Kael going to train next? Why does it look like he's heading back to Beast Peak? The moment those words drop, the others look confused too, all except Brahm, who seems to have just realized something, and his face goes pale. No, he's walking into my feast hall with 300,000-year celestial treasures. He's going to use my high-grade demon beast meat as ingredients and cook up something incredible to boost his body tempering. The moment he says it, everyone looks down, and sure enough, they watch me pilot my skiff down to the feast hall and head straight for the storage room. Aldrich, still riding his good mood, laughs and gives Brahm a pat on the shoulder. Be generous about it, Brahm. Kael is our successor. He just made an enormous contribution to the sect. What's wrong with him eating and drinking well? Brahm gives a cold snort. Easy for you to say. You have no idea how much this guy eats, and don't think you're getting off easy either. Kael is clearly going to combine aged celestial treasures with high-grade demon beast meat, cooking it all up to use the digestion tempering method on his body. But don't forget, he's cultivating the Boundless Tao Archive, a divine technique that means at least 3 full meals a day. I wonder just how many celestial treasures are left in your herb garden, Aldrich. That lands like a slap. Aldrich's face goes blank, the image of me burning through the garden's treasures 1 meal at a time making his chest physically ache. Over at Artisan Peak, Dorgan is quietly counting his blessings. Thank goodness his peak has nothing to do with body tempering. He's safe from all of this. Weapon forging is a craft that takes years to master. The pressure, the timing, none of it can be learned overnight. He is completely certain I will never show up at Artisan Peak to raid his materials. Meanwhile, I have already gotten my hands on rank 6 Xuanming demon beast meat and paired it with 100,000-year 9-heart snow lotus, earthflame dragon root, and jade marrow mushroom to cook up a full body tempering meal. The moment the smell hits me, I ladle out a massive bowl and dig in. With the power of flesh alchemy working alongside it, I can feel my body growing stronger, and as I resume the digestion tempering method, everyone watching from above is seething with envy. This guy's funneling the entire sect's resources into himself alone, eating like royalty, drinking the finest elixirs, and who could possibly handle watching that? The disciples are drooling, even the elders are wide-eyed. You can cook high-grade demon beast meat like that? Brahm is swallowing hard while he and Aldrich start running the numbers together. Based on what Brahm knows about demon beast meat and Aldrich's knowledge of celestial treasure properties, the two of them are shocked to discover that the way I am doing this actually does maximize the body tempering effect across the board. And so, the entire sect watches me train through sheer extravagance. 3 meals a day, every day, all at that same level. My physical strength surges. By the 3rd day, I can already lift 270,000 jin with one arm, but something still feels missing. So on the fourth night, right after dinner, I take my skiff and weave between the peaks. About an hour later, the skiff comes to rest at a quiet, secluded mountain. On that peak stands a grand and ornate palace. The plaque above the entrance reads Secured Ladies' Palace. Body tempering cultivation runs on 3 pillars: eat, train, and sleep. Of the 3, sleep carries more weight than most people realize. My eating and training are already pushed to the limit. Sleep is the only piece still missing. And I don't just want ordinary sleep, I need a bed crafted from rare materials that will nourish my body while I rest. I push open the door and go in. On the second floor I find a large round bed entirely jade-colored. I reach out and touch it. Cool, but not bone-chilling. After a moment, a warm, gentle energy starts seeping into my skin. That makes me quietly happy. Of course, Kiara's things are something else entirely. I've come to the right place. Right then, the day's fatigue catches up with me. I ease myself down onto the bed, and instantly, a cool energy spreads through every part of me. The tension in my muscles melts away. My blood chi begins to flow faster. I sink into the comfort, eyes half closing, a quiet thought rising in my mind. This is insane. The things in this world really are on another level. While all of this is unfolding, the Taiyi Void Realm has already erupted, every shade of envy and resentment pouring out all at once. The elders, however, are completely composed. Thalen even smiles as he explains. This kid actually knows what he's looking at. That bed is made primarily from million-year cold jade, layered with 9 sheets of snow silkworm silk, and the pillow is stuffed with spirit frost orchid, found only in the far north. Never mind the body tempering stage, even a cultivator at the god-severing stage could cleanse their tendons and refine their marrow sleeping on it for years. The other elders join in with easy laughter, because with the sect empty, and Kyle recognized as its successor, drawing on any resource for cultivation is well within his rights. Besides, this kid has already been raiding the herb garden's celestial treasures as side dishes. What's one bed? Only Dorgan holds back, opening his mouth then closing it again, before finally speaking up with a careful tone. Has everyone forgotten? Kiara never entered the Taiyi Void Realm. The room shifts instantly. Right. How did we forget that? She's been in closed-door cultivation at Dragoncleave Cliff the whole time. She's still inside the sect. We didn't worry about Kyle sneaking into her chambers because we assumed the sect was empty. But if she comes out of seclusion and finds someone in her bed, won't she just kill Kyle on the spot? She has no idea he's been named our successor. Yuvail glances at everyone with a helpless smile. Kiara's seclusion takes at least 3 to 5 years, sometimes more than a decade. Surely the timing won't be that cruel. The other elders go quiet. While everyone is lost in thought, they notice I have already fallen into a deep, peaceful sleep below. In the days that follow, my life is beautifully simple. Each morning I wake up, run through a full set of the 5 Sacred Mountain Fist, then head to Herb Peak and Beast Peak to pick ingredients and cook, spending the rest of the day in focused cultivation, and only returning to the Sacred Ladies' Palace late at night. Following the Boundless Tao Archive's principle of balancing effort with rest, I take my skiff out for a casual glide around the sect after each session. Then one day, I finish training and feel my blood chi at its fullest, perfectly aligned with my cultivation realm, ready to resonate. I can tell I will break through to body tempering, 5th layer, by tomorrow. The feeling puts me in the best mood. So after leaving the training ground, I take the skiff out for a ride. When I drift over Dragoncleave Cliff, a quiet feeling washes over me. If there were no great calamity coming, I could live exactly like this every day and be perfectly content. Then, riding a wine-fueled mood, I compose a poem on the spot. Inside the Void Realm, Brahm hears it and can't hold back his praise. Now that's a poem! Didn't expect our top successor to be this talented in both combat and culture. The other elders all clap along in agreement, but Dorgan stares down below with sharp, worried eyes. Look at where he's heading, isn't that Dragoncleave Cliff? Everyone snaps their attention to the skiff's path, and the discussion ignites immediately. It really is Dragoncleave Cliff. This kid stumbled right into it by accident. What if he disturbs Kiara and pulls her out of seclusion early? That would actually be great news. That might be our way out of here. But Kiara doesn't know Kyle. She has no idea he's our successor. What if she sees him as a threat and accidentally kills him? What do we do then? Come on, you're overthinking it. Kiara is the sacred lady of the Taiyi sect, not some bloodthirsty villain. She's not going to kill anyone on sight. Dragoncleave Cliff is the Taiyi sect's sacred ground for enlightenment. The story goes that when the sect was first founded, the Taiyi Dao ancestor fought a primordial true dragon that came seeking revenge. 10 days and 10 nights of battle, and slew it right on that spot. The dragon's blood soaked into the earth, and for a time the area was consumed by the dragon's dying resentment. The Taiyi Dao ancestor reshaped the land and purged the danger, and after 10,000 years of natural tempering, it transformed into a sacred cultivation ground. Cultivators who achieve a breakthrough here receive the lingering blessing of the true dragon's power. Legend also says that those with great destiny can glimpse the dragon's shadow and grasp the supreme divine ability of the dragon race, though no one has ever confirmed it. Access to the cliff is strictly controlled. Once someone enters closed-door seclusion there, the formation seals and protects the area. Since Rusty, the puppet the elders control, has no living aura, getting close does nothing to wake Kiara, but a living person with powerful enough vitality has a chance of being sensed by her, which means tonight might finally be their way out of the void realm. For a moment everyone holds their breath, staring down below, silently begging for Kyle to catch Kiara's attention. I arrive above Dragoncleave Cliff. Take a look at the inscription on the stone tablet, and let the wine do the talking. Dragoncleave Cliff, Slayer of the True Dragon. Are you serious? A primordial true dragon is a rank 9 divine beast. A fully grown one is practically invincible in this world. And the founding ancestor, one human, killed it? Yeah, I don't buy that. I have been spending a lot of time in the scripture pavilion lately, and the records there clearly say the primordial true dragon is the apex predator among divine beasts, sitting at the absolute top of the power hierarchy. But this stone tablet paints the Tai Dao ancestor as some world-splitting god who even took down a true dragon, a bit much. Though thinking about it, every rising power inflates its founder's legend a little. Exaggerating the backstory a bit, can't really blame them for that. Drowsiness hits me then, and I climb back onto the skiff and head out. The next morning, I arrive at the training ground full of energy. The resonance between my blood chi and spirit energy has reached its peak. The breakthrough is right here. With that in mind, I grab an iron cauldron and start tossing it around, guiding the resonance toward the final push. But the elders watching from above all look drained and flat. Yesterday, Kyle wandered over Dragoncleave Cliff by accident, paused briefly, then left, without drawing Kiara's attention at all. They got their hopes up for nothing. Whether she simply didn't sense him, or whether something has gone wrong in her seclusion, no one can say. Thalan glances at the low mood around him and speaks up to settle things. Stop overthinking it. Kiara is inside the sect, she will be fine. Yuvail nods in agreement. We have all been stuck in this void realm for so long already. There is no need to rush this. For now, let's keep our eyes on Kyle. He is about to break through. At those words, everyone shifts their gaze to the training ground below. As I swing the cauldron around, a wave of amplifying force surges through me without warning. I grin, toss the cauldron aside, and grab the heaviest forged weights one by one to test my limits. The result, 440,000 Jin, single arm. Every inner and outer disciple watching is shaken to their core. Just at body tempering 5th layer and his one-arm strength is already 440,000 Jin? That's insane. He hasn't even used the doubling effect of the 6th layer yet. If he channels his full body into a single punch, the force could exceed 1 million Jin. And Kyle has already mastered a heaven-grade upper-tier martial technique. The damage on top of that would be even greater. The more you think about it, the more terrifying it gets. On the other side, the elders all break into applause. Impressive. With that single arm number, a supreme foundation is well within reach. As long as he doesn't fall, our sect may produce another god-severing level powerhouse in just a few centuries. The last time the sect saw someone reach that level was hundreds of thousands of years ago. Still, Kyle has pushed the digestion tempering method about as far as it can go. The potency of celestial treasures and spirit herbs will start to fade. Unless he gets his hands on demon beast meat from higher stage beasts, the gains won't stay this steep. Kyle needs to find a new path forward. Herbal bath, pill nourishment, flame sear blood tempering, cold water bone tempering, the methods are all right there waiting. He's only used a few of them. Let's see what he picks next. Even as they praise him, they're already worried about where he goes from here. But I have had a plan in my head for a while now. I leave the training ground, board my skiff, and head straight for the pill hall on Herb Peak. The moment I step through the front gate of the pill hall, the system chimes in my mind. Ding. Player has arrived at the pill hall. Time check-in quest activated. Reach the top floor of the pill hall within 3 minutes. Reward, 1 formation break token. My eyebrow goes up and a spark of excitement crosses my eyes. The elders, seeing me enter the pill hall, start clapping with delight. Kyle is finally getting it. He should have been popping pills from the start. This kid grew up with nothing. He's probably never had a real pill in his life. No wonder he doesn't know what he's been missing. 1 high-quality pill is worth 10 years of grinding. Aldrich, get those precious pills of yours out. Once Kyle really gets into it, don't come crying about it. Aldrich just laughs it off. Do I look petty to you? They're just pills. What's there to be upset about? Pills are made to be used. If they end up in the stomach of our sect's finest young talent, that's exactly where they belong. Dorgan watches him deliver this speech with great moral authority, and immediately calls it out. Funny, wasn't it someone in this room who, when Lysander took 1 rank 8 celestial pill, was so furious he demanded Thalon step in and sort it out? A flash of embarrassment crosses Aldrich's face before he fires back with a glare. That was completely different. Lysander is the sacred son, Kyle is the successor. A successor has every right to draw on any resource the sect has. Besides, my craft has grown considerably since then. I am now a rank 9 pill master. A rank 8 pill means nothing to me anymore. A few nods go around the room. Then Dorgan slides in another question. Aldrich, what about a rank 9 sacred pill? Would you give that? Aldrich freezes for a beat, and Dorgan points at him with a knowing laugh. See, the moment it gets hard, you go quiet. Then something clicks in Aldrich's head and he waves it off. Of course I would give Kyle a rank 9 sacred pill. except that particular pill is sealed inside a formation for storage. We're stuck in this void realm with no way to control it remotely. Even if I wanted Kyle to have it, my hands are tied. Varen rolls his eyes on the inside. This time, Aldrich is playing generous with something he can't actually give away. At least Braum wears his pain on his face. That's more honest. The pill sealed in a formation, Kyle can't reach it even if he wants to, so Aldrich gets to say whatever he likes. Just then, Thalen cuts off the bickering and glances at Draven. Enough, both of you. Draven, use Rusty to guide Kyle toward the pills. Draven gives a quick nod, but just as he moves to take control, he sees me already shooting straight up toward the top floor. My 5th layer speed makes me nearly invisible. Rusty is flapping so hard behind me, it's practically leaving a smoke trail, and Draven is sweating buckets trying to keep up. He thinks to himself, the way Kyle is moving, it's like he already knows exactly where the pills are. Aldrich has the same unsettled thought. Could his handbook have mentioned where he keeps his pills? While the two of them are, still puzzling it out, I reach the top floor. The system chimes, and the reward drops into my system space. But I barely notice, because I am staring ahead, jaw dropped, finally understanding why the system gave me the formation break token right now. The entire area is sealed behind a purple glowing formation, and suspended within it are thousands of pills, with several rank 9 sacred pills hovering at the very top. I am stunned. Then I remember something the senior disciples used to say. They always kept their most valuable things inside the sect, because the sect's security was airtight, and carrying treasures on the road was just asking to get robbed. But then something doesn't add up. If the whole sect evacuated, with no powerful cultivators left to guard anything, these valuables should absolutely have been taken. They didn't even take the rank 9 sacred pills, so what exactly happened? Or maybe the whole sect didn't leave willingly. Maybe they were just gone. I shake the thought off quickly though. Why bother thinking about it? This world has 3 years left. Whatever happened to them, happened. My only priority right now is to train fast enough to survive the great calamity. I pull out the formation break token and use it. In an instant, every beam of the formation vanishes. I walk straight in. The moment Aldrich sees the formation disappear, his composure shatters. What just happened? How did the formation just vanish? Dorgan bursts out laughing on the spot. Well, Aldrich, looks like things are about to get interesting. I wonder if you still stand by everything you just said. Because if Kyle eats your rank 9 sacred pill, you can't go running to Thalen about it. Aldrich's face goes crimson. After a long, pained silence, he forces out a single line. Of course I keep my word. Kyle can have the dragon elephant bone tempering pill, so what? He is our sect's successor. Who else would it be for? At that, Dorgan gives him a cheerful bow. Then let me be the first to congratulate you, Aldrich. The pill you refined is going to the top successor of the sect. Now that's what I call putting it to good use. Just as Dorgan predicted, I find the rank 9 sacred pill without much trouble. The moment I stand beneath it, the pill floats down on its own, landing in my palm. A stream of information flows into my soul's sea. This pill takes its name from the dragon elephant. Sealed within it is a thread of primordial dragon elephant soul essence. Taking it allows a body-tempering cultivator to gain a massive boost in physical constitution. An absolutely irreplaceable body-forging pill. Right as I'm about to swallow it, the system speaks again. Ding. Player is surrounded by a vast collection of pills. Special gold inscription triggered. Forge of 100 fires. Description, no grade limit. On your 100th attempt at pill making, success is guaranteed. I blink. Then an idea starts forming in my head. What if I spend the first 99 tries on the most basic rank 1 pill, and then switch to the highest tier formula on the 100th? That way, even something as legendary as a rank 10 divine pill, as long as I save it for that 100th furnace, success is guaranteed. Also, during the body tempering stage, pills below rank 7 can be taken freely, but rank 7 and above can only be consumed once. Take more than that, and pill toxin builds up inside the body, damaging the foundation. I had been ready to take the dragon elephant bone tempering pill and push into body tempering, 6th layer, but now that I have Forge of 100 fires, I need to think more carefully. With that realization, I set the dragon elephant bone tempering pill back in its place. A rank 9 sacred pill is impressive, yes, but the foundation a rank 10 divine pill builds is on a completely different level. Since I have Forge of 100 fires, all I need is the right formula and the right materials. I turn and head downstairs, searching each floor for pill formulas. The elders watching in the void realm are baffled. What is Kyle doing? He didn't take the dragon elephant bone tempering pill to forge his body, and now he's going back downstairs? Is he going to tear Aldrich's place apart? Aldrich, what exactly is inside that pill haul of yours that has Kyle searching like this? Don't tell me you actually stashed something incredible in there. Aldrich is equally puzzled. When he watched Kyle pick up that pill a moment ago, his heart leapt straight into his throat. He knew that pill was going to Kyle one way or another, but it still hurt to let go. Then Kyle put it back down and walked away, and Aldrich finally breathed again. Whatever the reason, Kyle chose not to take it. That was his own call, not that I refused. With that settled in his mind, Aldrich is about to say something when Braum taps his arm. Aldrich. Kyle just stopped. Looks like he found what he was after. Can you tell me what's in that room? Aldrich squints down. That's where the pill formulas are kept. Inside are the formulas I've developed over the years, as well as the works of the pill hall's great masters from the past. But why would he go there? Then Aldrich's expression darkens, and he draws a sharp, silent breath. Down below, I have already reached the third floor of the pill hall and found 29 upper-grade pill formula jade scrolls. My eyes lock onto one in particular, the upper-grade formula designed for the body tempering stage, the Chaos Undying Vitality Pill. Refining it requires 6 divine materials, including Chaos Primal Chi, all placed into a furnace forged from Chaos Stone, and burned through 9 cycles of solar and lunar true flame for 10 full days and nights. The effects are staggering. Not only does it guarantee a body tempering, 9th layer body the strength of 1,600,000 Jin at minimum, it also grants the power of unlimited body tempering, a growth potential with no ceiling. A quality like this, built through cultivation rather than birth, is almost unheard of. After reading it all through, I head to the 5th floor to hunt for materials. Success rate is the last thing I need to worry about. That's what the cheat code is for. But when I search the storeroom, I can only find 5 of the 6 materials. The one missing is the True Dragon Reverse Scale. That scale is the most vital part of a primordial true dragon's body. A fully grown dragon is essentially invincible. The odds of anyone ever obtaining that scale should be near 0. Just as I'm starting to worry, something glowing shoots past from above the storage shelves. I look closely, and my heart explodes with joy. That's the True Dragon Reverse Scale. I can't believe the Taiyi sect actually has one of these. Then it hits me, what was written on that stone tablet is real. The Taiyi Dao ancestor actually killed a true dragon there. I underestimated him. I do a full count of all the materials, then let out a long breath. Everything is in place. It was meant to be mine. While I'm still going through the inventory, everyone watching in the Taiyi Void Realm is getting more and more confused. What is Kyle actually doing? He ransacked every floor, found a formula, then ran down to the storeroom. Is he actually trying to refine pills? At that, Dorgan snorts and steers the conversation straight at Aldrich. Why would Kyle bother with any of this? The pill hall already has plenty of pills. I'm sure even if he ate rank 8 celestial pills like candy, Aldrich would be totally fine with it, right? At that, Aldrich's eye twitches. Brahm quickly steps in to smooth things over. Of course, Aldrich wouldn't mind, but the real question we should be asking is what Kyle is actually doing. That lands well enough to quiet Dorgan down. Thalon shifts his gaze to the pill hall below, then speaks up. Aldrich, do you recognize which formula is written on that golden jade scroll? Aldrich gives a respectful reply. Grand Master Thalon, I cannot identify the formula just from the outside of the scroll, but based on the materials he gathered in the storeroom, the formula in that scroll should be the Chaos Undying Vitality Pill, a rank 10 divine pill designed for the body tempering stage. At those words, every elder's expression shifts. Is Kyle actually going to refine a rank 10 divine pill? A pill at that grade hasn't appeared in millions of years. The materials are nearly impossible to gather, the refinement process is brutal, and as the world's energy has shifted, the success rate has only dropped further. Yes, Kyle has the miracle of creating a top-tier herbal bath formula, but pill making is on a completely different level of difficulty. This time, success seems out of reach. Suddenly Dorgan calls out in surprise. Kyle just went to the reading room in the pill hall and started flipping through pill-making books. Everyone looks, and there I am, seated in the center of a room lined with shelves on every wall, reading A Beginner's Guide to Pill-Making. Several Peak Masters' lips twitch slightly. They can't help but think back to when Kyle sat in the herb garden doing the exact same thing. Thalon shakes his head slightly, but this time he doesn't commit either way. Instead, he turns to Aldrich. Aldrich, you're the expert here. Do you think Kyle has any chance of refining this rank 10 divine pill? Aldrich's gut reaction is to shake his head, but then he remembers being called out in front of everyone at the herb garden, and he nods firmly instead. From the professional standpoint of someone who has spent 3,000 years and 1 million furnaces on pill making, refining a rank 10 divine pill would be child's play for Kyle. The moment he says it, every elder and disciple is frozen in place. Dorgan gives him a laughing pat on the shoulder. Aldrich, burned once, learned forever. But you don't have to take this far. Thalon stares at him like he's lost his mind. Please don't joke about this. There are so many disciples listening right now. But Aldrich cuts him off with complete seriousness. Thalon, my confidence in Kyle is the same as my confidence in my own craft. Extraordinary people do extraordinary things. Those are Elder Lazarin's own words, and you yourself have stood by them. Please remember that. At those words, Thalon's mind is racing. Aldrich, I said that as hindsight wisdom, you're not supposed to actually believe it. One complete beginner who just picked up a book, and you, a rank 9 pill master, are telling me he is guaranteed to pull off a rank 10 divine pill. That is not possible. Thalon doesn't even know where to start. But seeing Aldrich this certain, the other elders start to waver too. In no time at all, the debate breaks out again. Most of the outer disciples hear Aldrich's verdict and think it's completely absurd, but a solid group of Kyle's believers hold firm they know he'll pull it off. Meanwhile, after a full day and night buried in books, I make a straight line for the pill-making room. That single move instantly pulls every eye in the Void Realm to me. But when they see me standing at the furnace and pulling out a few very familiar herbs, the tension breaks, then quickly returns. Those are the materials for a rank 1 spirit restore pill. So Kyle isn't charging straight at the top, he's starting with something low tier to get a feel for it first. The Spirit Restore pill is basically beginner level. With the talent Aldrich himself has vouched for, Kyle should nail this in no time. The elders watch with equal anticipation as I ignite the ground flame and drop the materials into the furnace. Dorgan glances at Aldrich with curiosity. Aldrich, how's Kyle doing with this one? Aldrich answers with a cool, confident smile. Hard to see clearly from this angle, but Dorgan, the fact that you're even asking tells me how little you think of him. Kyle is the man I personally declared capable of refining a rank 10 divine pill. A rank 1 Spirit Restore pill is nothing to him. The words are barely out of his mouth when gasps erupt around him. He looks down and freezes. The pill-making room below is filled with thick, black smoke. Every ingredient blasts out of the furnace and rains down as ash across the floor. Kyle just blew up the furnace. With that explosion, a storm of disbelief crashes in from every direction. What is happening? Can anyone who actually knows pill-making explain, is the Spirit Restore pill hard to make? Isn't this literally the easiest thing there is? This pill is everywhere. Every apothecary shop has stacks of them. So this is what Aldrich calls top-tier pill-making talent? If that's the standard, then literally anyone can do it. And Aldrich just stands there, completely lost. Thalan immediately turns to him. Aldrich, what do you make of this? Aldrich presses his lips together, thinks for a moment, decides to hold his position, and replies calmly. It's Kyle's first time at a furnace. He just hasn't found his rhythm yet. He won't blow it up again. He says it with complete conviction and looks back down. Meanwhile, I stumble away from the furnace coughing, pat the ash off my robe, and let out a sigh. Looks like I have zero natural talent for pill making. Doesn't matter though, I've got my cheat code. The first 99 are just for fun. I shake it off and head back into the room, ready for round 2. Everyone in the Void Realm watches with fresh anticipation as I load the materials into the furnace with a completely focused expression, following every step of the formula to the letter, actually looking like I know what I'm doing. Aldrich gives a satisfied nod. Just watch, this time Kyle will show everyone what real talent looks like. But before he finishes the sentence, a thunderous boom shakes the floor below and the entire furnace is rocked by the force, rattling in place. At that sight, Dorgan's expression is one of pure, stunned disbelief. He really is a talent. A rank 1 pill just rocked a rank 5 furnace. Amazing. Brahm can't help but try to soften the blow, Aldrich. Maybe just let it go. Maybe pill making just isn't Kyle's thing. That hits a nerve. Aldrich digs in. Refuse to believe I was wrong about him. Twice is a coincidence. The third time will be different. Kyle will nail it on the third try. But before the words even fade, another wave of black smoke billows up from below. Countless disciples stare in disbelief. Are you kidding me? So this is what legendary pill-making talent looks like, blowing up the Spirit Restore pill furnace 3 times in a row. Truly one for the history books. What is Kyle even doing? Get it now, Aldrich is just messing with all of us. Actually, Kyle is a genius at blowing up furnaces. In a strange way, consistently exploding the easiest pill in existence takes real skill. And yet Aldrich refuses to budge. True genius is never rattled by short-term setbacks. Strength is forged through failure. 3 tries is nothing, that means nothing. If Kyle blows up 50 furnaces, then you can tell me I was wrong. The elders groan and shake their heads. Even Thalon can't watch anymore. He wants to say something, but calling Aldrich out publicly feels wrong, so he swallows a sigh and decides to just wait and see. In this bizarre, heavy silence, the entire sect watches me go furnace after furnace and fail every single time. By the time night falls, I have reached my 50th attempt without a single success. I'm not even tired, but the outer disciples watching have given up. Every one of them is convinced Kyle has no pill-making talent. No matter how much Aldrich insists otherwise, the evidence is undeniable. And Aldrich's mood is just as bad. He is screaming inside his own head, Kyle, what is going on with you? When I called your formula a poison, you pulled off a miracle. But the moment I say you're a genius, you fall completely apart? Isn't it supposed to be extraordinary people do extraordinary things? Then be extraordinary already. The other elders see his face going stony and pale, and quietly feel sorry for him, but no one says a word. Then, as the moonlight deepens, a sudden shout breaks the silence. Brahm, practically vibrating with excitement, points down below. Aldrich, look, Kyle is on his 99th attempt at the Spirit Restore pill, and he actually succeeded. At those words, Aldrich's heart sinks even further. 99 attempts to successfully make the simplest pill in existence, that speaks for itself. Dorgan turns to him. Aldrich, do you still believe Kyle is a prodigy in the art of pills, capable of refining a rank 10 divine pill? Aldrich says nothing this time. He lets out a long breath. I was wrong. Kyle does not have pill-making talent. The word spreads quickly through the Void Realm. Every disciple hears it. A few are secretly hyped up by the news, but for most it's just a quiet sense of disappointment. While everyone is still processing it, I make another move down below. I come rushing into the inner hall's refining room with a full armload of materials. That sight stops everyone cold. He just barely managed a rank 1 pill, and now he's going straight for a rank 10 divine pill? Aldrich snaps back first and cries out, Stop him! The ignition formation inside the Chaos Furnace cauldron is extremely volatile. If he misjudges the heat even slightly, he won't just blow up the furnace, he'll be vaporized. At those words, Thalen's expression shifts. He had no idea how lethal the process could be. He turns urgently to Draven. Draven, see if you can use Rusty to stop Kyle before he does something reckless. Draven moves fast to reach Rusty, but not fast enough. By then, I've already dropped all the materials into the Chaos Furnace Cauldron. The formation inside detects the ingredients the moment they land, and the ignition formation activates immediately. Watching it, everyone feels a sharp ache in their chest. They have spent so many days watching Kyle from inside the Void Realm. They have come to see him as the Sect's future, and that bond is real. But Kyle chose this path himself. Who can be blamed? Yuval turns her head away, unable to look, but the explosion never comes. She opens her eyes and finds the elders all staring downward in stunned silence. She looks too, and sees me at the cauldron, completely focused, working the formation with precise control, not a single sign of losing it. After a long breathless silence, someone finally speaks. How is this possible? He can actually control the white flame inside the Chaos Furnace Cauldron. That is solar true flame. Ordinary materials disintegrate on contact. Refining pills with it is like dancing on a wire, one misstep and everything is ash. And yet he looks completely at ease. Is this really the same Kyle who blew up 99 furnaces? The disciples can't make sense of it, and the elders are no less confused. Aldrich is stunned by the precision of my technique, and then he suddenly notices the solar true flame inside the furnace surging violently upward, about to blow, when my hand gives the smallest, quietest flip, using spirit energy to redirect the ignition formation. Then, a streak of blue flame carrying deep lunar cold shoots up and replaces the solar true flame, filling the entire furnace in an instant. I hold my full focus on the lunar true flame as the liquid inside the cauldron slowly fuses in the dance of fire and ice. Just as the pill is nearly complete, the entire pill hall shakes violently. The Taiyi Void Realm is forcibly broken open by the three Supreme Elders. The whole sect returns in an instant. I stay completely calm and deliver the final technique, and as the cauldron opens, a beam of golden light shoots into the sky. The rank 10 divine pill launches itself out and coils through the air in the shape of a golden dragon. A Supreme Elder claps and laughs with pure delight. Magnificent! 99 failed furnaces were not failures. You were using every one of them to grasp the principle of yin and yang giving rise to each other. Catch the pill in my palm, and look out at the entire sect standing speechless before me. The key to surviving the great calamity is not in the pill. It is in the will of the Tao. The pill shatters on cue, breaking apart into 10,000 streams of golden light that flow into every disciple present. This is the pill I was truly trying to make, one that carries the entire sect into a new realm together. From this moment on, the Taiyi sect steps into a new era of legacy, and I have found a purpose far greater than saving myself.